This evening, Mayor Parman is accompanied by her husband, Dale Parman, the president of Moorpark's Chamber of Commerce. When the mayor has finished her thoughts, she will then lead us, all of us, in the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you, Mayor Parman.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Saturday Night Football featuring Moorpark College and El Camino College. I'm sitting here right next to Nathan Espinoza and Ryan Ketchum, and we are your broadcast team for this season.
Good afternoon.
I want you to know that this is behind you.
This pregame show has been brought to you in part by the California National Guard. So I'm going to start this off by asking a question to Nathan, my color commentator here. How do you feel about the matchup here? We have a really strong offensive team. Obviously, before this week, we had our opening day, which was last week. El Camino played against LA Southwest College and beat them 41-21. How do you feel about that offense that's going to be coming against a very strong defense last year?
It's going to be a great matchup out here today. The one thing that I'm hoping the Raiders can do is keep the endurance up, keep the intensity up, and possibly wear this El Camino team down. It seems like this El Camino team may have an endurance problem. They held up a good fight last week in their battle, and after about the third quarter, they really wore down, and you could see it on the field. So hopefully the Raiders can keep up intensity and wear this team out over the game and come out with a win at the end.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's going to be a huge factor tying into this game. The Raiders are very strong defensively all throughout the whole game. They only held Pierce College to 6 points. Now, Ryan, I want to get your input on how the Raiders' defense is going to hold up against this. Well, excuse me, worded that wrong. I'm going to ask you about how the Raiders' offense is going to fare against an El Camino defense who gave up 21 points against a rather okay LA Southwest defense.
I think the Raiders' offense is going to play just fine. We actually have Cato Brown, of course. He's a dual threat quarterback. He just runs all over the field. He makes some nice passes. And also with the El Camino defense, they do have a big boy down low. He's 6'2", 290 defensive tackle. His name's Edgar Juarez. He actually had 9 total tackles in the last game. So we just have to make sure we watch out for him.
At halftime, ladies and gentlemen.
The rest of this pregame show, you were talking about how they have El Camino does have some pretty big boys on defense there. Go ahead and go into depth on that and let everyone know.
One of their big men, like I was saying, 6'2", 290 pound. He's a freshman defensive line. Usually you don't see too many freshmen that big and that dominant. He actually had 9 total tackles last game, 1 sack for 8 yards, but in those 9 tackles, he had 8 assists. So 8 assists to tackle, so he basically hits anything that he sees. If he cannot put them down on the ground, he at least hits them to be able to make sure that they know he is here. So we have to make sure with our strong offensive line, we make sure that we block him definitely.
to our pregame show, and we're going to jump back in the booth so we can commentate on this game. Hope you guys enjoy.
We have the captains approaching midfield at the 50, and they will conduct the coin toss with the referee. Number 10, James Harrington III, and number 32, Brett Aaron.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're now watching the captains walk across the field for the coin toss. So Nathan, finally here, it's game day here at Griffin Stadium.
Yeah, we finally made it out here. It's a nice day out here today. I'm glad our first home game is nice weather. You can't complain about that. I'm sure they're excited to get out here too and get this game over with. Everyone's excited for their first game. Well, let's see what we got going on over here. There's a team starts to make their way out. They're going to take a knee and listen to the coach while we get ready to kick this game off.
Erik Henman, number 5.
You know, it'll be, like I said before in the pregame show, it'll be very interesting to see how this high-powered offense will face up against a what seemed to be struggling defense at times for El Camino. Obviously, you know, there's many factors that come into this, but if you look at it on paper, the Raiders do have such a passing threat that it is a complete possibility that they will be able to run through this El Camino defense.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. If Cato Brown can air this thing out and you know, keep his feet off the floor from running around too much, I think we can really have a real high-scoring game from the Raiders. With the El Camino side, I do want to mention that they seem to have a strong defense when they kick off a game. They make a couple adjustments throughout the game, but third quarter, fourth quarter, you really see this team to wear it. I don't know if they have an endurance issue or if they just had a good run for their money last week. We'll see how it goes this week, if the Raiders can wear them down like they did last week, but hopefully we can pull out a win over them, as both teams are coming into tonight 1-0. No one wants a blemished record, so let's see how hard they fight for this battle tonight.
Yeah, it's important to recognize as well, you know, these unblemished records, obviously it's the very beginning of the season, but this really does set the tone. You know, most people like to say game 1 is the most important part of the season, but I would say game 2 really sets the rest of the tone for the season, if you're going to look at it. And, you know, I think an important stat to bring up is the fact that Cato Brown, his percentage is only 50% through the air, but on the ground, he's able to attain a lot of yards. And it was at 13 attempts, he had 63 yards, so he's averaging about 4.4, which isn't great, but it's not bad. It's also for someone who's going to be running a mainly running offense.
Absolutely, that's definitely the truth there. As the boys are starting to come out, they're getting rallied up. You can see El Camino working their way out. Everyone's getting warmed up. You'll see Moorpark making their way onto the field right below on the bottom of the screen. Moorpark coming out in all black with blue lettering. Very nice color scheme for tonight. As the night cools down, it'll nice and white. We got El Camino out in white. We're looking for kickoff to be coming off in a couple moments.
We're going to call for your players to watch here. It's I'm definitely going to have to say we didn't see him make any pass. He had no targets last week, but he was evident in the rushing game. It's going to be tight end. I'm going to call it. I'm going to say my player to watch today is going to be your tight end, number 47, Christian Hill Sanders. He's a 6'5" sophomore from Richmond, Virginia. This guy screams tight end. Let me tell you, I really think that he will be the player to watch. Who's your player to watch?
You know what? I'm going to actually go with our running back who's stepping up right now. We have our running back with River Meza. We have a kind of a new guy coming in for Isaiah Johnson. Isaiah Johnson, the veteran running back here who's been laying it down for the last couple seasons here. We actually have River Meza, 5'7" running back, 190. A little bit of a short guy, but he's actually got a lot of pack of his punch. We saw him put up a lot of points last week with Pierce College. putting up a rushing touchdown himself.
So the Raiders won the coin toss, elected to kick first. So El Camino will be out to take the kick. Your kick receivers will be number 6, Jonell Jackson, and what looks to be number 9, Zier Andre. Out to kick for the Raiders is number 99, Gavin Todd. This is interesting. You know, here's a story here. He is a redshirt freshman who's going to be playing, who is playing his first year of eligibility for the Raiders. It's a little bit tough. I've talked to him a little bit during practices and on the sideline. He's had a chance to really get his foot out there on the field. And as it looks like Zier Andre is going to take the ball up, he's running to the 30, and he's going to be pushed out of bounds by the Raiders.
Nice group tackling by the Raiders right there. We get a switch out right here. We're going to have the first time we're going to see the defense for this Raiders here at home.
Players to watch here for the defense for the Raiders is going to be number 43, Jordan Flack, and number 10 is going to be James Perryman. Both of them evident last year with their defensive skills. Jordan Flack being one of them. If I was going to say 2 guys from last year to watch were Dane Griffin and Jordan Flack. They had a lot of sacks and a lot of tackles for loss. In at quarterback for El Camino is going to be number 2. That's David Sills. He only took a few snaps last game. On the run was what looks to be number 6, Jonell Jackson, once again.
Hunter Schmidt, number 72.
It'd be a question whether we see David Sills play the entire game or if he gets a replacement, you know, maybe a quarter or 2 in. We go half and half with these quarterbacks.
Sills takes a snap back, fires over the middle, hits his receiver. That's number 5. He's going to break 1 tackle, break 2. It's a first down for El Camino. He's on the 45.
He sent a frozen rope up his line on that one, right down the middle on this Moorpark defense.
That was Erik Henman, the tight end number 5 for El Camino. He had most of the receiving yards for El Camino in last game. Out of pistol, takes a snap back, tosses it jet sweep, number 20. 22, excuse me, Donovan Davis, who's going to be brought down behind the line of scrimmage. It's going to be a loss of 1, 2nd and 11.
We are the best. Victory! Moorpark! We are
Running a very quick offense here, once again out of pistol.
Moorpark!
Sills takes a snap, fakes a handoff. It's going to be a quarterback keeper. He tries to find a hole. He finds it, and he's going to be running through the edge. He has a clear lane all the way down the left-hand side. And it's going to be a touchdown for El Camino. They leave 6-0.
Quarterback David Sills found a hole and did not let go. He took off down that hole, and he drove that ball all the way into the end zone with himself.
Raiders defense found with their pants down on that play. There was nobody in the way of the quarterback. He found his hole and just took off. He has a lot of speed and was able to capitalize on that situation. Max Kidd out to take the kick for the extra point. High snap. It's going to be up and good nonetheless. So El Camino first to strike on their first possession. That puts the Raiders in a position where they have to score next possession.
Absolutely. You know, a lot of times with these college games, the first to score really sets the tone. And as long as Raiders can come back and put a touchdown in, we can get a Raiders football a touchdown, then we can keep this game going and hopefully keep it competitive throughout the game.
It's going to be Max Kidd once again to kick for El Camino, or the Warriors. Raiders have a lot of work here. And out to return for the Raiders is going to be number 5 and number 6, Joseph Guerrero and TJ Newborn. One of which, it was Joseph Guerrero, had a punt return all the way to the end zone against Pierce College.
Speedy guy. Not too small of a guy as well. You know, you can see him, once he gets his speed, it's going to be hard to bring him down.
Newborn on the right, Guerrero on the left. Kidd about to kick the ball.
There we go.
El Camino off to kick. Kick is up. It's going to be slightly to the left. It's going to be Guerrero on the left-hand side. He's going to shake the tackle, and he's going to be hit and brought down on the 25.
Nice return from him, I got to say, though. Brought it up, broke a tackle to start it off, and then I wouldn't say the ball was thrown in or kicked in exactly nice area to start from. So
Exactly. He did a good job of getting the ball back to a positive area on the field.
All right, here we go with this Raiders offense. Let's see if this high-power offense can make it. We have a dual-threat quarterback. Cato Brown is going to be running this offense today.
Cato Brown going to be playing out of pistol. He's going to have River Mesa behind him, 3 receivers out. Motions of slot receiver in motion. Takes a snap back. It's a bad snap, and it's almost.
Ball is loose.
The ball is loose, and it looks like it's going to be picked up by the Raiders. I don't know who
looks like
finally
Cato was
got
on top
the end
of it, but there's a little pile up down there. We'll see how it goes.
The Raiders a little bit antsy here to begin the first quarter. So it's going to be a loss of 5 on the play. It's going to be 2nd and 15 for
River
the Raiders.
Mesa was able to get on that ball and hold on to it. Just a nice 5-yard loss, nothing too bad.
You saw number 35 there on the end come crashing through. He was going to be the first to get to the ball, but did not eventually get his hands on it. Cato has his back beside him this time out of shotgun. Takes a snap back, looking downfield. It's a passing play all the way. There's a flag out on the field. It's going to be a toss to Emmanuel Osachukwu. It's going to be called incomplete, but there is a flag, possibly defensive holding. Not a very good beginning for the Raiders here. It's
no, a little bit of a slow game to kick off for the Raiders. A little bit, it could be a little bit of nerves. You know, your first home game, you play a little bit differently when you first come home. It seems, even though we're in the 2nd week of the football season, the first week at home always feels like this is the kickoff to the season.
So it's going to be a loss of 10 yards on the penalty. Defensive holding was the eventual call.
Moving them back another 10. We're looking at 3rd and 25 now.
2nd and really long. It's going to be 2nd and really long.
Rather 2nd.
No loss of down on that play. Cato takes a snap, looking to fire. Throws, hits Emmanuel Osachukwu, who's going to have a lane. He has a bubble screen, and he's brought down. What should have been a called face mask. The corner there, number 21 for El Camino, had his hands clear on the face.
Salvador.
Clear on the face of Emmanuel Osachukwu. Good for a gain of what looks to be 6 on the play. The Raiders 3rd and really long. Hopefully to get them in better punt position, if anything here. Delayed snap count. River Mesa still on the field, yet to see him run with the ball. Cato playing out of shotgun, has his back slightly to the back and left.
Saw something he didn't like. Made a little change on the adjustment.
Takes a snap back, another high snap, but is going to be hit and brought down with a loss of a lot of yards on that play, and that was number 51 for El Camino. That's going to be Dodry Nevins, the 6'1", 245-pound freshman from Los Angeles, crashing through the line here, and now it's the punting team out on the field for the Raiders. Evan Benson out to take the punt. He is a returning sophomore who had a lot of work. Deep in his own end zone.
Able to get the kickoff.
Just barely got the kickoff. It's number 9 for El Camino who's going to have the kick, and he's going to break 1 tackle. Breaks 2. He's going to have a lot of space, and it just seems like the Raiders are not lining up any tackles here.
Absolutely, yeah. See, Zaire Andre with the catch right there really kind of moved his way up and took his time, picking his slots to kind of make his way through the Raiders defense right there.
David Sills back onto the field. Offense was successful last time in capitalizing on a touchdown as a quarterback keeper. Both quarterbacks who have played so far for El Camino are 6'4" and 6'5". Big kids who run really fast. Can gap the open lane that they have open, and it's going to be a run play to number 23. That's going to be Jacon Waters, who's going to be up and to the 35-yard line. Finally brought down by the Raiders.
You know, this running game for El Camino is really starting to open up. Raiders defense is definitely going to have to put a stop to this if we're going to make a statement today. 2nd and 2 out of pistol. Throws the screen. He's going to be open on the left-hand side and hit out of bounds around the 31. Hayden Galvin with the tackle on that one, knocked him out of bounds.
That was number 20 with the reception there. It's Mason Mulville.
El Camino has found themselves in the red zone again as they throw.
Fires across, hits his receiver number 4, and he's going to be brought down with a gain of what looks to be about 4.
Bobby Ferrer with the stop on that one.
Nicholas Hudson, the running back, playing out of the slot on that play. So El Camino not slow to break out every single move they have against the Raiders defense, and it seems to be working well. They're marching down the field into the red zone. Sills takes the snap, hands it off once again, but he's going to be tripped up and fall down about a yard shy of the line of scrimmage. It's going to be 3rd and now looks to be 6.
That was number 4, Nicholas Hudson, 5'10" running back.
Sills with no backs. It's going to be a 4-5 wideout situation. They have their tight end on the left-hand side. Delayed snap count. Saw something he didn't like, trying to see if it's a different play call. It's not. Sills takes a snap back, looking downfield. It's a throwing play, but there's James Perryman on the outside, and it's going to be a reception, but dropped pass by number 6. He had it in his hands. All he had to do was hold on. He probably had a lane all the way down to the end zone as Jonell Jackson went the running back with the dropped pass.
Ooh, Perryman was really on him that time.
And we'll see what offense is coming out next, whether or not they're going to choose to kick or they're going to go for it on 4th down. I don't see why not. The Raiders haven't been able to move the ball forward, and El Camino has pretty much had it free and easy all the way up the field. He's going to have
taking this 4th and 7.
4th and 7, split back position. Takes a snap back. It's going to be a throwing play, and that should have been holding on the play.
Aired it out.
Aired out ball, and he drops it in the end zone. Incomplete. Should have been holding on the offensive line. Nonetheless, it's an incomplete pass all the way down to the end zone. Number 9, Ziar Andre, not able to bring the ball in. Cato Brown with a chance to put the offense in a scoring position here.
Yes, absolutely. Got a chance to redeem himself. Sometimes that's all you need, though. You know, after being knocked down, that one chance to pick yourself back up. We'll see how Cato does on this next drive. We're going to be starting from the 22.
He's going to be in shotgun with 3 receivers out. River Mesa to his left. Cato steps back a little bit, tries to find more space in the pocket. Steps back in. Takes a snap back, hands it off to River Mesa. Mesa in the middle. He's going to be brought down with what looks to be a gain of 3.
Well, they're really good at group timing. We're getting a little, we got a flag on the field. Little foul play. As we'll see a penalty on the defense on this one. One of the offensive linemen was had a little defender slam him on the ground after the play. There we go. There's
personal foul, so a 15-yard penalty. That hurts El Camino quite a bit. Their defense was really quick to just jump in on the dog pile there.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, that's not the face of football anymore, at least in fair play terms.
Gang tackling isn't always the best solution to get the job done.
Yeah, especially on a run in the middle where you know you have the guy stuffed up.
We're moved up to the 42 now. Cato Brown working with a quick no-huddle offense right now.
He has Mesa to his back left, puts his receiver in motion, takes a snap back, hands it off. That's number 4.
DJ Farmer moving up the field. Finds a hole after he ran down the field a little bit.
It's only a gain of 1, though, on the play. Farmer going to be taking a lot of the jet sweep plays. The Raiders offense likes to run the ball quite a bit. Not much throwing going on this game. You saw 1 reception to Manuel Asachukwu, but that play was eventually terminated because of a penalty.
Yeah, you know, if the Raiders can keep up this run like we were talking about in the beginning of the game, hopefully they can wear down this El Camino defense. They seem really fired up, like I said in the beginning of the game, but eventually as this game goes on, they might wear on.
Receiver in motion. Out of pistol, takes a snap back. It's going to be a throwing play all the way. Cato finds a hole. He's going to be up the right-hand side. He's looking for the first down. He's going to be down at the 43-yard line.
Cato Brown really saw that hole. He did not hesitate. As soon as he didn't see anything on his second read, he definitely tucked that ball and took off down that hole.
Able to find that space there. Excellent job by Cato just to, see the play develop as it continued.
Absolutely.
And I think that was what they were missing during the first possession, was the fact that they didn't allow the play to develop, and everything just went crazy the moment that the ball was snapped.
And that goes back to what I was saying. I think they may have been a little nervous to kick off the game. Things are moving a little faster than they really were. I think things are starting to slow down, and Cato's starting to see the game really for what it is right now.
Cato out of shotgun. has 4 receivers out, including a tight end. Takes a snap back. The tight end is out. This is going to be a passing play. He's looking down the right-hand side. Cato fires, hits his receiver. I don't know if it's a complete pass.
Let's see what we got over here.
And they're going to call it incomplete. Christian Hill Sanders, the intended receiver. You can talk about the fast, large tight end there on the outside. You can see what kind of threat he's going to be for the rest of the game if he continues to be targeted like that.
Absolutely. Uses that big body. You like that. Next to see when your tight end knows how to use their body. Was definitely on that line, kind of created a wall with that out-of-bounds marker.
2nd and 10 now for the Raiders. All the receivers trips left-hand side. Cato out of shotgun with River Meza to his left, takes a snap back, hands it off to Meza. Meza trying to find a hole, but he's going to be stuffed up with a loss of 3 yards on the play.
Yeah, this El Camino defense is really on top of our run when we're running it down the middle.
Possibly the Raiders' offensive line not able to make the holes that they need to make. So it's going to be an eventual loss of 2, 3rd and long here for the Raiders. They're going to have DJ Farmer on the field. He's going to be playing out of the slot. River Meza going to be the running back. Excuse me, Farmer won't be playing out of the slot. He's going to be playing to the left-hand side. He's a dual application player. He's going to play all around the field. Cato takes a snap back. He's going to be wrapped up, and he's going to find space.
He's squeezing out of there.
And he's going to be brought down, but it looks like it's going to be a holding call on the offensive line, if I'm not mistaken.
It looked like he got swallowed up in that hole, and then all of a sudden you see Cato just kind of poke his head right out and come out running with the ball.
So we'll see if it's going to be if they're going to accept the penalty. I don't know. I don't see why. Penalties decline, so it's going to go to 4th down and 50. The punting team is back on the field. Six minutes and 59 seconds left to play in the quarter. Sorry we haven't kept you up with the time clock. Evan Benson out to kick. Gets the punt off, but it's going to be a bad punt landing around the 35-yard line. The Raiders are not firing on any cylinders. It seems like their engine is stalling.
Absolutely. You know, everything kind of seems to be what can go wrong will go wrong right now. Hopefully these Raiders can stand up and turn this game around before it gets out of hand.
David Sills out on the field once again. He's going to have his running back number 5, Erik Henman. Excuse me, number 6, Janelle Jackson. They're going to have 2 running backs on the field, what looks to be almost a fullback, number 36, Okalani Tefamunga Laingi.
Yeah,
and it's going to be a passing play all the way, but it's going to be an incomplete pass intended receiver number 9, Zier Andre.
That was incredible defense by Mike Jones. Defense 6'1", 185 out of Calabasas. Was really on top of him like white on rice.
Second and 10 now for El Camino. Running back number 23, Jaquan Waters. This will be his first chance. Gets the ball. He's going to be brought down behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of 1. The Raiders looks to be number 10, James Perryman, on the tackle.
There we go. James Perryman and Jordan Flack starting to make their magic putting together right now. We got one more play to shut these guys down, and we'll see if we can keep this moving.
If they can force a 3 and out here, the Raiders should have a little bit of time left now in the first quarter to try and make it an imprint on the game in the first quarter.
A little over halfway through this first quarter.
6 minutes and 15 seconds on the clock. The clock is running. 16 seconds on the play clock.
Still seems a little confused, trying to figure out what play he's going to be running.
Takes a snap back. It's a passing play all the way. Looks downfield. Fires across the middle and almost intercepted.
Man,
that was number
brave.
28, almost with the interception, Christian Rivers. The defensive back playing safety on the play. Hit in the back by the pass. Had he just turned around, it would have been in his hands and a return for some yardage.
That was, Sills keeps throwing that ball across the middle. He definitely is fearless playing this Raiders defense. Maybe over the next couple plays we can put a little scare back into him.
Max Kidd out to punt for the Raiders. Out to take the punt is going to be number 5, Joseph Guerrero. Excuse me, number 6, TJ Newborn.
Newborn out of Norcross, Georgia.
And the punt just barely makes it out of his hands. It's going to roll a long way and out of bounds around the 24.
We'll see these guys take it from the 20 like we got a kickoff of the game all over again. Let's see if Cato Brown can put this together and make a scoring drive out of this one.
The Raiders able to drive and get 1 first down last possession. We'll see if they can extend that, like you said, hopefully this time into the red zone. Have yet to see that from the Raiders. It's a little bit slow to start here. 5:59 left to play on the clock in the first quarter. El Camino winning 7-0 at the moment. You know, all it takes is one play.
All it takes is one play. Get this team heated up, and then all of a sudden, they're rolling.
Cato now playing out a pistol, has his back behind him. Looks to be number 23, Isaiah Johnson, on the field. What should have been
Isaiah
a
Johnson
screen.
out there wearing a club on his hand.
What should have been a screenplay ended up being a gain of what looks to be 2 yards.
Isaiah Johnson is a surprise for tonight. We weren't expecting to see him till next week, but it looks like he's okay with his hand getting banged around a little bit. He has a cast on his hand, so we're going to see a club as he lines up.
Isaiah Johnson being one of the feature backs last year, having a lot of yards. Cato out of pistol, puts his receiver in motion. It's a handoff to Isaiah Johnson. Johnson going to be trying to find a hole.
Johnson fighting
struggling, fighting. He's going to be trying to push the pile, but it's going to be a gain of no yards there. Johnson doing a lot of work to get the ball back to the line of scrimmage. 3rd and 8.
Again, with this gang tackling, they're really piling it on like a dog pile.
Isaiah Johnson going to be running off the field.
I think as we see him working his way back in and into starting position, you'll see him get a couple plays on and off as we're going. Just slowly get him back into game condition. As well as you can be conditioned, on practice, game condition is a total different thing.
Back to our main feature back, River Meza, on the field next to Cato. No more pistol, it's out of shotgun. They're going to have trips left. One, what looks to be tight end on the right-hand side. There's a lot of defensive backs playing to the right-hand side, possibly a blitz coming here on 3rd down.
Real traditional West Coast offense look for these guys right now.
Cato takes a snap back. It's a passing play. He's going to find his receiver, and it's almost recepted.
Scary pass as he throws that across the middle and gets tipped off in the air.
Could have been picked up by almost anyone on that play.
Absolutely, even one of the wide receivers, to be honest with you. I've seen that happen a couple times.
No clear receiver on the play. It's going to be 4th down once again. Evan Benson with a chance to punt. Hasn't really had a clear punt yet.
Cato Brown unable to get this offense flowing right now. We'll see if we can make a difference. Him and Emmanuel Osachukwu. I practiced that before the game, and I still can't nail it. They're discussing on the sideline, see if they can figure out something between the boys.
Ball's going to be down around the 45 this time. El Camino getting favorable field position for the most part, but have yet to really capitalize, except for the first possession. We'll see what they're going to bring to the table this second time. The Raiders defense seem to be now working on cue to stop this El Camino offense. We'll see how that lines up this possession.
You know, I'm starting to see this the defensive ends with Jordan Clark and Perriman really starting to come together. So we'll see if they can start working down this offensive line from El Camino.
Sills, 3 receivers to the left. It's going to be a running play. And that's number 22 on the run, Donovan Davis with the run, but nowhere to go on the play, just like the public address announcer has said. It's going to be 2nd and 10 now. A lot of different offensive motions, movements from El Camino. We've pretty much seen it all so far. Pistol, shotgun, nothing out of center. And he's going to find a hole, and there's going to be a flag on the field, probably holding on the offensive line, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, Sills can really move, you know. Every time that he gets a pocket, he takes off right in there.
And it's going to be a personal foul against El Camino, so that's a 15-yard penalty now.
They're going to come on back.
Yeah, like you said, though, Sills, player to watch here for El Camino.
Absolutely.
Has legs underneath him.
You know, we had a question about him coming in just because last week he didn't play the entire game, it seemed like. He had a large portion of it. We had also seen Connor Miller last week for El Camino, so it was a question whether he was going to start or we're going to see Connor Miller. We still have yet to see if anything's going to change as we move through the first quarter.
Sills going to be playing out of shotgun. Has his receivers all the way to the left. The Raiders with a lot of players in the backfield. It's going to be a running play, though. James Perryman on the outside trips him up, and that's going to be good for what looks to be a gain of 1 yard. But Perryman great on the pursuit and tackle.
Absolutely.
Trips him up and gets him down with only a gain of 1. 3rd and really long here for El Camino.
Now, I expect to see El Camino air it out. They've been really confident in throwing this ball across the middle or even throwing it deep. We'll see if Sills can actually get this thing going down the field. Hopefully we can get this defense to make a stop right here.
Sills most likely with
see
one
Jordan
more
Flack
chance
move
here.
on to the outside as they're lining up extra wide receivers.
Prevent zone defense here for the Raiders, and it's going to be Jordan Flack pursuing on the outside, and the
Harriman on
quarterback is just running for his life here. Almost.
Oh, my.
And it's a reception. He comes down with it, number 3, Jalen Watt. Oh, my goodness,
That was
what
an
a
incredible
catch there.
You know, as Harriman was really chasing him down, I thought Harriman was on top of him that time, but, you know, Sills really aired that thing out. Yeah, threw it in 3 times coverage for the wide receiver. You know, kudos to the wide receiver for bringing that ball down. He really reached up there for that one.
What I'm going to have to say is a lucky break there for El Camino,
Absolutely. Nonetheless.
Raiders pretty strong here on defense. We'll see if it's a false start.
Looks like, yep, we're going to see a false start flag. Incomplete
It's
pass.
a free play, incomplete pass. It'll be, depending on how it's called, it should either be encroachment or a false start. I don't know who is going to go against because I didn't see movement on the El Camino line.
That was a real stale-looking start off to the play anyway.
Just didn't feel good when it first lined up, and it's going to be a penalty against the Raiders. It's going to be 1st and now 5 for El Camino, edging closer to the red zone.
These Raiders are really going to have to start watching these penalties if they keep adding up.
That was the ultimate storyline of the game against Pierce College with almost 240 yards and penalties accumulated for one team. That's an insane number that you would never hear.
Absolutely.
For one team, that maybe 2 teams put together in one total game. And it's going to be a gain of 4 on the play.
Nicholas Hudson on the run for El Camino. Kind of patiently worked his way through the defense that time. I think one thing the defense is going to have to start picking up is game tackling. You know, you're seeing a lot of gaps when the play opens up.
2:12 on the clock for El Camino in this quarter. It's 2nd and 1 now. Takes a snap back. It's going to be a throwing play across the center, and that's going to hit their tight end, number 5, Erik Henman, once again for the first down. El Camino now pushing deep into the red zone.
Johnson on the stoppage, 1st down Raiders. Check that, 1st down Warriors.
Takes a snap back, hands it off to his running back. That's number 23, who's going to break 2 tackles. And he's going to be finally brought down with what looks to be a gain of 2 on the play.
Jaquan Waters with the run on that one was really fighting for yardage on that play.
Landman and Galvin.
1:36 left in the quarter.
Janelle Jackson makes his way back onto the field.
A lot of movement here from El Camino, once again pushing deep into Raider territory. It's 2nd and 8 now for El Camino out of pistol. Sills takes a snap back, looking downfield. It's a passing play. He has nowhere to go, but he's going to have a lane out to the outside, but he's going to choose to fire over the center of the end zone.
Finds
It's
a man
another
in the end
touchdown.
zone.
And it's his tight end, number 5, Erik Henman, once again with the reception. Touchdown El Camino, 13-0.
You got to give credit to Sills on that one. He waited that one out as he had no one open. Scrambled, found some time, and then in the back of the end zone, he found his tight end open for a brief second and nailed him for it. So got to give him his credit on that one.
Kicking team out for El Camino for the extra point here. It's Max Kidd. His kick was successful last time.
Kick is up and kick is good. This Raiders offense is really going to have to start putting together before this game takes away on them.
14-0. It's a hole that the Raiders are going to have to dig themselves out of at this point. There's no other way to say it.
There's definitely not.
It's tough because when you put your team in this position, it always seems like, you know, it's the first quarter.
Yes,
you know,
we're early in this game still. Like I said, at first, you know, it felt like the team was a little bit nervous. Now that we're starting to wear into the end of this first quarter, You know, I hope this isn't what we're going to be seeing for the rest of the quarter, because this team's really got to pick this up.
1:12 left on the clock in the first quarter. Out to take the kick is going to be number 4, DJ Farmer, and number 5, Joseph Guerrero. The kick is up and out to the right-hand side. It's going to be Farmer. Farmer takes the kick. Excuse me, it's not Farmer, but
Guerrero.
It's number 6.
Guerrero finds some
Guerrero,
room.
he's going to find some
Guerrero's
room on the
gonna
right-hand
burn
side.
his
He's going to
Knocked out of
almost burn
bounds.
the kicker, who is the last man on the tackles, all the way down to the 38-yard line.
Sometimes it just takes a little special teams to get this team kicked up into gear. Now we're working on the close to red zone. The Raiders are going to look to make a move now that they're here.
Number 5, Joseph Guerrero, like I said before, had the return on a punt against Pierce College all the way down to the end zone. It was a touchdown last game, so he has at least 1 TD on his belt for kick return.
Hey, you know, if you can nail 1 a game, that's all the doctor said.
Putting his offense in good position here. Cato looks like he's going to be playing out of pistol once again. Number 21, Braxton Wilson.
You got to switch
Back
up a
behind
running
him.
back. Anthony McLean in there for him. McLean takes the ball, moves it up about 5 yards for a 6-yard gain.
I didn't see the 35. You're correct. It is number 31, Anthony McLean on the play. 3s and 2s sometimes look the same from where we're at.
Anthony McLean, a freshman out of Amarillo, Texas. We should be hopefully to see a lot out of him as the year progresses. He looked like really good out there. Big boy as well.
Gain of 6 on the play.
McLean back there again. We got a penalty on the play. I don't know if that's going to go on encroachment or we're going to get an offsides penalty.
It should
on that
be an
one.
encroachment play. It depends on what the Raiders, what the referees saw. It's going to be against El Camino.
There we
So
go.
it should be a first down at this point.
Things seem to are starting to roll toward or down the hill for the Raiders this time now.
The Raiders finally into the red zone.
This is the first visit for the red zone for the Raiders.
.32 seconds left in the first quarter. Cato still has McLean next to him. 4 receivers out, including a tight end. Takes a snap back. It's a passing play. Fires across, hits Emmanuel Sachuku. That should be good for a first down with forward progress on the play. It's down at the 19-yard line. The Raiders now 17 seconds left in the quarter. The Raiders on the 19, deep in the red zone this time. Should be a scoring opportunity for the Raiders.
Now, Osachuku is really becoming a main guy on this game right here. We're seeing a lot of action thrown his way.
Raiders have 4 receivers spread. Out of pistol, Cato, quarterback keeper. He's going to try and find a hole. He's going to be brought down.
Looks like right about on the line. Didn't
On the
really
line
get a
of
gain on
scrimmage.
that one.
And the quarter is going to be over, so we're going to step back for a second and allow our advertisers get some time. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Emery Johnson alongside Nathan Espinoza. We'll see you after the end of the quarter.
6, 7, 6.
Let me on, man. Let me read some next.
This game is brought to you in part by UCLA Health. It begins with you. Administration is agency of Sandoval. Proud to be an agent of Nationwide. Nationwide is on your side. Papa John's. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. Dugout Sports Grill. Ventura County's favorite sports grill.
Raiders still in the red zone, a chance to score here and get some points back. Here's the question. Do you think they would take it on 4th down and try to go for it?
You know, at this point, I think you have to. You're deep in the red zone. You haven't seen a lot of action. Even if you haven't been doing very good on 3rd and 4th down, you kind of got to take the chance on this one, being within the 20 yards right now.
Cato Brown out of pistol. Still has McLean behind him. We've seen a lot of backs. McLean up the middle, and he's going to be stopped up and brought down with looks to be a gain of 2 on the play. Going to be the kicking team coming out onto the field, so they're going to choose to get their points.
Yeah, you know, I don't blame them on that either. You gotta take points when you can.
Gavin Todd, again, having his first season as a kicker for Moorpark this year.
So far seems to have a really strong leg.
And the kick is up, and it's good. So
Gavin
Todd puts it all the way through the uprights. He had a little bit of nerves behind him in our preseason game and once in the first game of the season, just to put some stats out there on the board. You know, he's really just been working on his footwork and making sure that he can button up all the edges there. Yeah. And he finally shows exactly what he's capable. You can see him during practice. He's putting 45-yard, 50-yard field goals, you know, through the uprights. Obviously, It's different because it's practice, but, you know, nonetheless, it's there.
Yeah, we saw him in warm-ups, lining it up from the 50-yard line, and he was really sticking the ball deep past the end zone. So he's definitely got a strong leg. If he can keep the ball straight, it's going to be the difference in him scoring. Got to credit him, though, putting the 3 points on the board for the Raiders to start off the game. Still down 2 scores, but better than a 0 on the board.
13 minutes and 47 seconds left on the clock. Gavin Todd going to kick the ball for the Raiders. It's going to be John L. Jackson and Ziari Andre once again. Andre on the left, Jackson on the right.
You know, Andre's already been making his stamp on the game. So you see him all over the field, and he's going to be the one taking the reception.
Andre trying to find a hole, and he's going to punch it, but he's going to be hit really hard on that play.
Yes, he was. Wow.
And that was what looks to be 40 for the Raiders. That's, 42. Mark Martin.
Mark Martin with a lasering hit from
drops his shoulder, keeps his head up, but just hits him to the ground with all that he has.
Yeah, Andre really took off with a lot of force, and you kind of saw him taking off upfield, and he just got stopped.
So El Camino with their first possession of the second quarter. And that's going to be a flag for encroachment on the Raiders defense. And there's going to be a pass, and it's going to be an incomplete pass.
Incomplete pass. Really aired that thing out. That was about a 45-yard pass down the field.
And do I happen to see a new quarterback
yes,
in for
we do have Connor Miller. That one I was bringing up at the beginning of the game. We didn't see Sills hold on to the whole game. Connor Miller's definitely going to make a
new quarterback. Yep.
Yeah.
It's going to be Miller, takes a snap back, hands it off to his running back. Nowhere to go there on that play. After the 5-yard penalty, it's going to be 2nd and 5.
So it's just like we were talking about, where it's questioning whether we're going to see a second quarterback come out today as Sills takes the seat for Miller to come in. Last week, both quarterbacks played in the game. Sills actually putting up more yardage than Miller. We'll see how Miller does. He looks like a little bit bigger out there.
Miller is the 6'5" quarterback, fakes the handoff, and it's almost intercepted by number 5.
Oh, my.
My heart was in my throat on that play.
Yes,
Joseph Guerrero had it in his hands, almost intercepted. 3rd and 5 now with an almost – I mean, I don't know what he was thinking on that play.
You know what it was is I could tell that ball came flying out of Miller's hands like a laser. It looked like a frozen rope across the field. So, you know, Guerrero probably caught a really hot ball at that point right there.
I saw the blood in his – or the red in his eyes. He saw his receiver coming across, and he saw the touchdown. That was to number 20, Mason Mulville.
Miller moves the ball up the field with a nice first down pass to number 20, Mason Mulville.
Mulvihill. Interesting last name there.
6'2" wide receiver out of Culver City.
So he was the intended receiver on the almost intercepted ball. Nonetheless, El Camino gets a first down. They're on the 38-yard line. Takes the snap back, looking downfield. It's a passing play all the way, and he's going to be hit and brought down. That's the Raiders defense showing their first amount of might here on the play. That was
Flack on that play right there.
There's Jordan Flack and number 79, Nate Lemos, the linebacker. I don't know if he's a linebacker.
Yeah, so that's a big boy.
Linebacker. That may be marked wrong here. That's a defensive lineman nose guard right there, if I've ever seen one.
Freshman out of Royal right here in Simi.
2nd and long now for El Camino. Fires across the center. Incomplete pass, intended receiver number 3, Jalen Watt.
Michael Hightower on the defense. You know, I watched Michael Hightower in practice. He's very active. You can see him constantly on the field, and he knows where to be at all times, it seems like.
We're going to see the Raiders try to get this 3rd down stop here. If they do, they'll have possibly good possession depending on a punt. And it's going to be an aired out ball and thrown way over the receiver number 9. Nowhere to catch the ball. Ziar Andre was running but had no room at all. The Raiders' corners and safeties just keeping it tight.
Absolutely, absolutely. If these guys can keep it, because it seems like El Camino really is trying to air this ball out now for some reason.
Raiders coming up big with a huge stop there. Deep in El Camino territory around the 30-yard line, 30 in inches, if you will.
TJ Newborn back to take the punt.
Newborn already had one good run. And the punt is going to be up, and it's going to hit the ground before they have a chance to do anything with it. And the ball is going to be bounced off the Raiders.
TJ muffed the ball.
Picked up by El Camino. Might as well just be a long pass.
Yep. Newborn definitely, he went down, almost got on all 4 knees and tried to pick the ball up, and it just bounced right off the helmet. Couldn't get a hold of the ball, and El Camino is going to take over downs right here. Excuse me, take over the ball right here on the 30, almost in the red zone. You know, just when things are starting to break to the Raiders' way, we have an error in baseball in that sense.
Not a good situation here for the Raiders. Defense back out on the field. They're going to have stacked receivers on both sides for El Camino. It's going to be a pass to receiver number 20, who's going to have space after breaking a tackle. He's going to break 2, and he's going to be finally pushed out of bounds. It's number 20 on the reception, Mason Mulvihill.
Mulvihill, we talked about earlier. You know, he was really fighting for his yardage on that one. Tried to break 2 tackles. Even when he got out of bounds, he was fighting for to stand up still. So.
Did we lose stream over? Mike, did we lose stream? Okay, I lost my internet. Okay, stand by. Sorry that for a brief interruption. Had to clear some things up regarding our internet connection. El Camino trying to push for that touchdown here.
Janelle Jackson again with the carry, tries to move his way into Raiders touchdown zone.
El Camino here really threatening to score.
Marcus Johnson, number 8 for the Raiders.
The ball on the 1-yard line for El Camino. You know, sometimes it's these 1-yard situations that really make it hard to get in there. Hopefully the defense can keep that up and stop them. Make a big stop right here. We can make a statement.
And it's going to be a run play through the center, and it's going to be a loss of yards now.
Keeping it within 2 scores is crucial right now for the Raiders.
A 2nd and goal.
Ball carrier Hudson.
It's going to be almost 1 yard to go. It didn't look like he lost any yards on the play. Trying to make a goal line stand here for the Raiders. Everyone's going to be stacked up on the inside.
Set up in a goal line formation. We might see a quarterback sneak. Watch out for Miller jumping through the center.
And it's going to be a quarterback keeper. He's going to jump through the center. It's unclear whether or not he's made it in.
Miller reached out for a touchdown. We'll see what he's marked right here. They're going to be mark him short, just a couple inches short of the touchdown. Miller looking over to the sidelines for what to do next.
You know, this is another situation where El Camino, they do have the lead. They might as well go for it on 4th down, so I don't think the Raiders defense should slow down at this point.
No, they still got 2 downs to go for this right here, so we'll see how it goes here. Same formation again. We'll see what Miller has for this defense.
It's going to be a run play. He's going to have a lane on the inside. That's number 4 on the carry, Nicholas Hudson, once again with the touchdown.
El Camino is going to lead this game 20-3 right now as we set up for a kick.
Raiders have a lot of work to do in this coming quarter and half.
Just under 10 minutes to go and 9:58 on the clock.
And the kick is going to be up and good. El Camino 21, Raiders 3.
You know, it was real crucial, like I said right there, to keep it within 2 scores right now. Now they got a 17 or 18-point lead on the Raiders. We're looking at 3 scores to get back in this game.
So I think this is an opportunity now. I'm gonna attempt to call down to our on-field reporter,
Ryan down there. Let's see if we can find Ryan running around down on the field. If he has any input on what is going on with these Raiders. They seem a little together at some point, and then next thing you know, they kind of seem a little confused. So we'll figure out if Ryan has a different insight for us down there on the field.
So Ryan, let's see if we can get you queued up here. What can you give us about information about what's going on the sideline here?
21-3 in the second quarter. But there's a lot of positivity when there's, like, just for say, David Sills when he ran in for his first touchdown of the game. They basically said to keep their heads up and for the offense to go out there and do some damage. So they're staying positive. They're not looking at the score. They're just continuing to play and continuing to improve.
Thank you, Ryan. We'll check back in with you right before the end of the half. Thank you for that.
Anytime.
So we're good for a gain, what looks to be a kick return up to the 24-yard line. 24-yard gain there on the play. Cato has to do something with his offense here. There's no reason why they should not be able to run over this defense. They've shown that they can. We'll see what happens in this next possession.
You know, we're going to have to start really airing this out, down 3 scores now. The Raiders are going to have to start getting this ball down the field. Start utilizing guys like Emmanuel and a couple other the wide receivers. River Mesa has not been able to open up in this game either, so we've moved on to 3 running backs we've seen today. Hopefully River Mesa can settle down and get this ball down the field with Cato Brown.
Mesa back on the field, 9:53 left to play in the half. Cato going to be playing out of shotgun, has all of his receivers out, including Christian Hill-Sanders, possibly a target on this play. Takes a snap back. It's going to be a throwing play. Asachukwu with the incomplete reception.
You know, he's really got to start getting Asachukwu a little bit more into this game. It's one of his #1 wide receivers. He's got to get him down the field. But before he get him down the field, he's got to start getting some of these small completions completed to him to get his confidence up.
2nd and 10, 9:48 on the clock. Cato has all his receivers out once again. Mesa behind him. Delayed snap count, 21 seconds on the play clock.
Cato didn't like something he saw in the defense, making an audible, switching it up.
Sanders still to his left. Cato out of shotgun.
Asachukwu down at the bottom.
Takes a snap back. Fires the ball over the center, almost to his receiver, intended receiver, number 4, DJ Farmer.
DJ Farmer was really just second behind the ball. If he would have been able to get ahead of that ball just a second, that could have been a scoring play for the Raiders. Really great pass, though. Really down the field for Cato Brown.
3rd and 10 now for the Raiders.
They're going to have to start making a move here.
Have to make a play here.
3rd downs have not been the friend of the Raiders this game.
9 minutes and 42 seconds on the clock. Cato going to be playing out of shotgun again.
Looks like he's got McLean back there with the gem.
McLean back out on the field, takes a snap back, not a running play. Cato scrambling, trying to find space. He's going to be open on the left-hand side. He's going to choose a quarterback keeper, and he's going to be down. Will it be called a first down?
Looks like a first down to me.
No, it will not be called a first down. It's going to be 1 yard shy, according to the line judge.
Ray Thomas instead of McLean. You couldn't see that down there. Ray Thomas, the 4th running back we've seen on the field for the Raiders.
You can tell the fans don't like what the referees called.
As you can tell, the crowd is really letting the refs know how they feel about that shortage of a call right there. They brought the chains out. We're going to make a switch of over to a kicker. Our punter is going to be real busy tonight.
Evan Benson, pretty much every single possession except one now at this point.
Evan Benson out of Camarillo High School right here in Adolfo, Camarillo.
Out to take the punt. There's going to be flags all over the field. Should be a delay of game.
Well, as this game keeps going on, the Raiders really need to start picking it up. I don't know how much we can reiterate that, but this offense is really going to have to find some fight somewhere.
Benson. Punt is blocked.
It's a touchdown.
And it's going to be a touchdown for El Camino.
Number 7 on the recovery for them, Jamar McDaniel for El Camino.
You can almost say that that was coming. They were close a couple times earlier. Nothing you can really do about that.
This game is falling apart really fast for the Raiders as we're looking at a 27-3 lead for El Camino.
El Camino a lot stronger than I think the Raiders initially expected. A lot stronger than what we expected, at least.
A little over 8.5 minutes left in this half right now.
The Raiders have to do something to stop the bleeding.
You know, at halftime, I expect to see some really big adjustments for the Raiders because this score has really got to start teetering the other way for them if they want to come out of here with a win.
Number 2, Max Kidd out to kick for El Camino. He's already 3 for 3 so far. Waiting for the snap, and the kick is up, and it's good. El Camino now takes a 28-3 lead over the Raiders. Raiders need to do something desperately here to get points. It's now essentially a 3-score game.
Absolutely, absolutely. Almost a 4-score game.
Now to take the kick, number 25, Nathaniel Vaughn. Excuse me, not Nathaniel Vaughn. I'm looking at the wrong roster.
We're looking at Ray Thomas. He was the 4th running back I had mentioned earlier. I don't know if the Raiders are not finding the run with their running backs or what it is, but we've seen 4 running backs from the Raiders so far. Ray Thomas being the 4th one. He's now back there taking the kick.
Ray Thomas or DJ Farmer. The kick expected soon. I mean, eventually you have to feel like with as many chances as the Raiders have had, and it's going to be Newborn. Takes the ball around the 5. He's up the field trying to find a hole. Finds his block. He's going to break 1 tackle, and he's going to be coming to the inside. Running to the 30, running to the 35, and he's out of bounds around the 37-yard line.
DJ Farmer moved his way up the field. He kind of cut all the way back as he saw the field kind of close down in on him on the left side of the field. Worked his way back across the field to make a little gain right there. Something we can hopefully get this Raiders offense moving.
So Cato with another chance here. And there was a penalty on the play. Presume a block in the back. It was a 5-yard penalty. Cato going to be playing out of pistol, has Isaiah Johnson out onto the field.
Nice to see Isaiah back out there again. As I said, they're probably going to slowly work him back into starting.
And
shot over the
snap.
top of Cato. He picks the ball up
Cato
after
picks
it's
it
been
up
dropped
and throws it
away.
out of bounds finally. Gets a break there on the horrible situation. You never want to see your offense in that situation.
No, they looked a little lost as that ball got snapped. I don't think we were ready for the ball to be snapped. So we're looking over at the sidelines right now, looking for some direction from the coaches.
So
Nice job for Cato, though. Really kind of settled down right there and realized just throw the ball away. Don't try and make anything out of that and make a dumber play, out of that loss right there.
El Camino with a lot of players in the box here. They have a lot of backs on spy pending the running play, and it's going to be good for a gain of what looks to be inches.
It shows they're aware of Isaiah. Every time Isaiah gets in the backfield, they definitely load that box up a little bit more than they were with other running backs.
Isaiah Still's going to be on the field, as far as I know. Isaiah Still on the field.
Lining up next to Cato this time.
They're going to have 4 receivers out. No tight end on the field.
Osachukwu by himself on the bottom of the screen as he is.
Takes a snap back. Settles into the pocket. He's going to not have much space. Fires across the center. And Emmanuel drops the pass. Literally right into his hands.
You know, Osachukwu has been doing so good all game. It's kind of surprising to see him drop the ball. You can see him frustrated as he walks off the field and pulls his helmet off with his head down. He's really going to have to step it up as this game goes on if we want to see a score out of him.
Punt team out once again. It's going to be number 9 for El Camino. Zier Andre once again. And that's going to be encroachment against El Camino.
El Camino. Evan Benson's definitely getting his work in tonight.
Absolutely.
A big kicker, by the way. Nice big boy to get the ball down the field.
Had a decent boot last year. Ball's going to be placed on the 49-yard line. Benson standing around the 35. And whistles everywhere once again.
7:42 left in this half right now. It's been a bit of a slow game for Raiders as we've been going through this night. As the night progresses, the lights are starting to come on. Shadows are coming around the stadium. Warriors leading 28-3 over the Raiders. Raiders are piling up after a timeout, trying to figure out what we can do to get a score on the board before the game goes into halftime.
Looks to be a timeout called, probably by the Raiders. It wasn't indicated by any referee. But this is a very, I don't know how we would even go into describe during halftime show. 7 minutes and 42 seconds. I mean, it's complete and utter domination by El Camino offense and defense.
Absolutely. You can't really say that either side. For like I said earlier, it seems like Raiders have their game together for a moment, and then the next thing you know, everyone's confused again. So hopefully after a couple halftime adjustments in the locker room, we can figure out what's going on with this team.
Benson gets off the clean kick. It's going to be Andre, has the ball, almost gets tackled, and he's going to be brought down around the 18, so the Raiders strong on special teams this time.
Absolutely. Wasn't letting Zier Andre out of their hands this time. We keep him underneath the 20-yard line. We're going to see David Sills back out on the field as they're switching this up. I don't know if this is trying to find out what quarterback El Camino likes to play with, or whether they're trying to keep Moorpark confused, because Moorpark at this point doesn't know how to get ready for Sills, if they're going to see Miller as we see Sills take this back out.
It might be two different quarterbacks that you're looking at and two different looks that just bring something different to the game. And it's going to be a, oh my gosh, it's a fumble.
Perryman
has the ball, and it's a touchdown. The Raiders.
Touchdown defense on James Perryman.
Find a miracle.
Hey.
Absolutely. Any way you get it done.
Any way we can get it done.
That's how you got to do it.
Raiders are looking at making this a 10-28 game, just 18 points back, making this within 3 scores.
That makes it much better of a feeling going into the locker room, especially during halftime. 7 minutes and 23 seconds.
Still a little bit under 7.5 minutes left in this half. We see if this defense can make it stop and we can make another score before we move into the half.
So a big, huge miscue. A big miscue from the El Camino offense.
And that was a big, huge miscue.
Yeah.
Jordan Flack come off the field.
And that's going to be through the goalpost. So Gavin Todd firing on all cylinders now.
There we go.
And the Raiders
starting to make some noise as we get some cheer out of this crowd.
Finally doing something. Hopefully, the point I would try to make is the fact that hopefully this can do something to light a fire under these guys on the Raiders.
Absolutely.
And get them back into the game. It only takes one, like I said earlier. It takes one play.
You know, and even closer to that, it takes one player to get this team fired up.
Exactly.
So if we can get Perryman out there warming this team up after he scored a touchdown, we'll see how it goes. Perryman excited on the sidelines down there.
So 10-28 now, as you can see with our on-screen graphic. Out to take the kicks. You'll probably recognize him. Number 6, Jonell Jackson, and number 9, Zier Andre. They've been mixing it up. Actually, both of them have taken the ball at least once.
From punt and kickoff.
From punt and kickoff, exactly. And a good kickoff here from Gavin Todd, deep at around the 3-yard line. And it's going to be Zier who's going to be hit and absolutely crushed, and that's number 23. If I don't say it myself, if I'm not mistaken, number 23 is Isaiah Johnson playing on special teams.
That is Isaiah down there with the club on his hand, fired up on that tackle.
Crushing Zier Andre. I mean,
wow.
He laid it on him.
You don't get as many chances to see your running back, your featured running back working his way back in, make a huge tackle. That was a great tackle by Johnson.
Johnson with the huge play there. It's going to still be number 2, David Sills, in at quarterback for El Camino. They're going to have 3 receivers out, and it's number 22, their feature back Donovan Davis next to him. They're going to take a delayed snap count. Sills takes a snap, hands it off. He's going to find a hole, and he's going to find a lane out the left-hand side, and he's going to be pushed out of bounds around the 27-yard line. Warriors get a first down on that play. Now playing out a pistol. It's going to be another running back, number 6, who's going to be absolutely stopped up by number 17 for the Raiders. That was Hayden Galvin on the tackle for no loss of yards on the play. But definitely stuffs the running back. That was number 6, Jonell Jackson, their other feature back. It's going to be number 4 now and back for
I got to say,
El Camino.
El Camino's really good so far about making a lot of rotations on their offense.
Stacking the receivers on the outside. It's going to be a fake pass, and it's going to be number 9 with the reception there.
Johnson with the really holding on to that ball as he's lit up.
It's going to be 3rd and short now. They do a good job of getting the ball to the receiver.
Absolutely.
Even though he gets hit hard. And it's going to be a run play up the middle, but he's going to be stuffed up by the Raider defense. So the Raiders, and that, speak of the devil, Jordan Flack, number 43 on the inside with the lead tackle on the play.
There we go, Jordan.
4th and 1 now. It's going to be the punt team out on the field for El Camino. Number 6 on the Raiders is going to be taking the punt, and that's number 6, TJ Newborn.
Just 6 minutes under this left in this half. Maybe the Raiders can make some noise and put a touchdown in before we go into the locker room.
If they can put a touchdown on the board and they get the ball back at the second half, that would be a huge swing of momentum for them.
Absolutely. Make a couple adjustments. We're back in this game.
Punt is up. Newborn lets it bounce once. He's going to take it, and he's going to find pressure, but he's going to break a tackle. He's going to break 2. He's going to find a lane. He's open up the right side. He's at the 50. He's at the 40. He's cutting up the 30. That's only the kicker in pursuit. He's at the 10, the 5. Touchdown! Moorpark Raiders. He's in there on the kickoff return. What can you say? He has just been absolutely on fire so far this game, and the Raiders do exactly what we want them to do. It's a touchdown. Raiders 16, Warriors 28, fighting their way back into the game.
If that doesn't get you fired up, I don't know what will.
That was incredible. The Raiders thinking they're going to just have their offense on the field, but just automatically get those points up. Beautiful.
It's been defense. It's been special teams. This team themselves is getting scores on the board today. We still have 5 minutes left in this half. Defense seems to be clicking on all cylinders.
And it's Gavin Todd once again has the ball through the uprights. Raiders 17, Warriors 28. You can feel the momentum starting to
build. They're building something here.
The Raiders are really starting to get fired up, and I think that's the one thing about this team is last year it took them getting the fire underneath them.
Yep, the second half from the Raiders last year was definitely the better half of the season. Now,
Absolutely.
As I was talking about earlier, I don't know if El Camino is starting to wear down already, but we're starting to see them a little more fatigued, hands on the hips for El Camino, and the Moorpark Raiders are starting to get riled up.
Absolutely. Gavin Todd going to be doing the kickoff once again. The Raiders, like I said before, firing on all cylinders. Hopefully they can put this into a defensive stop here. The defense was already on the field. It's always hard to come back out on the field the second time, but nonetheless, what has the defense shown time and time again so far this game is that they can go out and perform.
The defense has definitely shown resilience.
And it's going to be number 85, a new kick returner. And he's going to be brought down.
Donovan Martin, wide receiver out of Youngsville, Louisiana.
You know, Isaiah Johnson just showing what he can do now, what he can do on his special teams. I mean, he's a running back. He's a special teams guy. He's just fast.
We're going to have to put him in as an outside linebacker at some point.
Exactly. I mean, what can you say that you don't like about the guy? He's fast. He's big. He's strong.
And he's playing with the club on his hand. He's actually got an injured wrist right now. As we're seeing him go out there and make a difference on this field.
So number 2 still out on the field. Sills takes a snap back, looking to throw a bubble screen, but there was nowhere to go on the pass. Intended receiver, number 86 on the play. He was nowhere near the ball at the time. As Timothy Jones, he had a little bit of action against Pierce College last week. I mean, do you think this might be spelling a little bit of a just miscommunication and disorganization of El Camino? They might not know what's going on right now.
At that point, I feel like that's what's going on.
Sills has 3 receivers out for him, 2 on the left, 1 on the right. Takes a snap back, hands it off. No, it's a fake handoff. Fires over the center. He finds his tight end, and he's going to be absolutely lit up.
You know, we haven't seen Erik Henman all game since before the first quarter. He's been a little bit quiet. I don't know if this defense is starting to figure out El Camino, but they're making stops now. We're looking at 3rd and 3. They can make a stop here. We can make a difference.
Sills, 1 receiver out. Trying to probably power the ball in. It's going to be pistol. Lots of guys in the box. Has his receivers to the left. They're bunched up into 3 group. Takes a snap back. It's going to be a throwing play. Trying to find his receiver. He is. It's going to be number 3 on the outside. He's going to be brought down around the 35, pushed out of bounds. Jalen Watt on the reception.
Now they really kind of bunched it up right there. Made the defenders lose what was going on, and he found his way out open on the outside right there. Sometimes you kind of got to bunch it up and get everybody confused to get the ball down the field as the Raiders line up to stop this defense or stop this offense.
David Sills in shotgun has his back beside him. All the receivers out to the right. He has possibly an eligible receiver, offensive lineman to the left, and he's going to be trying to find an open hole here. And Sills going to be hit hard and brought down.
Marcus Johnson, linebacker on the stop out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
So the Raiders able to make a stop there against the run. I think that's the first time he hasn't gotten a first down on a running play.
That is the, you know, he is a fast guy. It's hard to get your hands on him, and once you do, it's hard to keep him on it as well.
Possibly a little bit of a deterrent if he got hit hard enough there. Make him think that it's not as safe to run out of the pocket anymore. Takes a snap back. It's going to be flags. No flags. It's just going to be a timeout called by someone.
We stopped the clock right here at 3:43, 28-17. Warriors ball over the Raiders. Warriors have the ball right now.
So it's going to be a timeout called, 3:43 on the clock, and we're going to step away for advertising.
And with that timeout, I'd like to remind everybody to save the date for Moorpark College Golden Gala's 50th anniversary celebration. That's going to be next year on August 26th.
This game is brought to you in part by the California National Guard. What it takes, mind, body, and grit.
That'll be next August 26th of 2017. It'll be held at the Air Force One Ronald Reagan Library. And for further information, contact the College Foundation via email.
Luminary Photo. Photos today, memories forever.
That's mcfound@bccd.edu.
UCLA Health. It begins with you.
And we're back here, ladies and gentlemen. The Raiders using their defense well. It's going to be a read option. Fires way downfield.
Aired that thing out. Leaping catch.
And they're going to call it incomplete.
He caught that thing, but it was caught out of bounds.
If I could say one thing about El Caminos, their receivers really do a good job of putting their bodies on the line and going out for the ball.
Absolutely. Again, that was Mahoville, wide receiver number 20, Mason Mahoville, putting his body on the line for the ball. Unfortunately, it was just a little bit outside of bounds for that one. Great defense on the Raiders as well.
Third and 4 now. Sills, split back position. He's going to fire, trying to find the screen, and it's going to be a dropped pass. The Raiders force another 4th down on the mistake of number 6.
Big stop for the Raiders right here.
Janelle Jackson not able to get his hands around the ball.
Stop the clock as well. We have 3.5 minutes left in this half. Hopefully Cato Brown can put a score together and scoring drive together and get down the field to make this game even tighter.
Fourth down.
Bring this back into a 1-score game going into halftime. we're starting to wear this El Camino defense and offense down.
We remember what Newborn did the last time he had a ball in his hands. The punt is up, and it's going to bounce.
Newborn's going to let it bounce out, and he's going to let him take it off from the 18.
They're just going to let it go. It's going to be on the 18. The Raiders offense going to have a chance to play the ball here. 3 minutes and 22 seconds left on the clock.
We'll get a chance to see this Raiders 2-minute.
Yeah, 2-minute drill. Might as well be.
Yeah, pretty much.
19-yard line is where the ball is going to be officially spotted. 17-28. El Camino ahead, but just slightly. They're losing momentum. Cato Brown out onto the field. He's going to have 4 receivers, including a tight end. And he's going to have Isaiah Johnson out on the field right next to him in shotgun position.
Isaiah in motion. Back again.
Trying to trick up the defense here. They have a lot of backs on spy looking for the run play. And it's going to be a quarterback keeper. Cato trying to go up through the center. He's going to be in there good for a gain of what looks to be 2 or 3 yards.
Not much on the play for that one. We can see if Cato can put something together, maybe air it out and get this ball down the field.
Second and 8 now for the Raiders. 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Out of pistol, takes the snap back looking to throw the ball. Fires over the center and almost hits his receiver. That's number 19, Isaiah Carter. Excuse me, number 19, Cade Schmitz, wide receiver. You think you have your lineup at one side, and then you think you have it on the other side. Sometimes it gets confusing.
You go back and forth. You know, definitely with offense and defense, you're switching.
I was thinking, why is a linebacker playing in wide receiver, and why have I never heard his name before?
You know what makes it confusing is when that offensive and defensive players are allowed to share a number.
Exactly. Cato takes snap back out of shotgun. It's a throwing play all the way. 3rd down, he's going to have space up the center. He's going to try and run. Breaks 1 tackle, breaks 2 tackles, and he's going to be brought down with what should be a first down.
That's why we like Cato to have that dual threat. Couldn't see anything down the field. The pocket collapsed on him, and so he had to take off down the field for a first down.
2 minutes and 42 seconds left in the clock in the first half. The Raiders get a first down that's on their own 30-yard line. Cato Brown being effective last year, his biggest attribute was the fact that he could make that snap decision on the read option.
Absolutely.
Out of pistol, has his back beside him, behind him in pistol, it's Isaiah Johnson. High snap, he grabs the ball and falls on it. There's no way he's going to try and make a play out of that. The Raiders back to miscues now. It's a 2nd and now 12.
The clock is still running. We're looking at the 2-minute drill coming up 2-minute warning coming up in about 5 seconds. We'll see if he can get the ball off before the 2-minute drill.
Out of shotgun, a loss of a lot of yards on that play. Looks to be a loss of 4. 2nd and
2-minute warning's going to kick in, and
I don't know if the referees saw the 2-minute warning. Nonetheless, it's another high snap. Cato still has a chance. He's going to throw it and hits his receiver. That's Schmitz, and he's brought down with what looks to be a gain of a lot of yards on that play, so creating something out of nothing.
Absolutely. Cato looked like he lost the ball, shot back about 15 yards past where he should be, made a little scramble upfield to make a pass for a completion.
Great reception there. Nothing you can say is bad about that play. Cade made a good choice to get open. I don't know where the pass was intended on that play.
Just a minute. It might be just to stop the clock, to be honest. I don't know if they want to burn their 2 timeouts right now.
On 4th down?
No, that's definitely not the case.
So Evan Benson back out on the field. Raiders
Evan
not
Benson
able to
making
make
his paycheck today.
Yeah, not able to make anything out of that possession there for the Raiders. Benson gets the punt off. It's a good one this time. It's going to be down the right-hand side, and it's going to be rolling quite a bit here. And it's going to be down
just
to
right outside the 10-yard line.
Yeah, just looks to be the 13-yard line now. So El Camino deep in their own territory. 1 minute and 9 seconds left to play on the clock. Possibly just a point of eating the clock and making sure that nothing else happens. El Camino almost needing to stop the bleeding at this point as well.
Absolutely, as the Raiders have fought their way back into this game. Only 11 points behind the Warriors after almost down 24.
The defense in some ways has been absolutely devastating for the Raiders. I think it's kind of a tale of two sides. The second quarter was almost better than the first quarter, not because the Raiders gave up points, but because they were able to make something out of nothing.
Absolutely. And again, I'm going to keep reiterating on this. It seems like they're getting worn out.
So an interesting quarterback keeper there on that play.
Sills really kind of taking off and almost getting sloppy, forgetting where north and south was and running east and west that entire play.
He started running back towards his own end zone. That's definitely not the direction you want to go.
Definitely not. That's where you want him to go if you're defense or if you're James Perriman looking for another touchdown.
56 seconds left on the clock. We're down into second time. Sills going to have his back beside him, 3 receivers out to the left. Takes a snap back. It's going to be a running play to his running back. Takes a stutter step, and he's going to be hit hard and brought down, but there's flags all over the place. We'll see what the penalty is. Did you see anything on that play?
You know, on that play, it's kind of like I said, it seems like El Camino needs a break right now. They're really getting worn out on the field, and as we're starting to see Moorpark getting a little winded themselves with the hands on the hips.
Second and now 9. We'll see how that gets affected. It's going to send the ball backwards at this point. Was it holding?
I didn't see what we had right there.
If it was holding, then it should technically be a 10-yard penalty, but no, it was just, it looks to be a minor penalty. 5 yards back.
The clock continues. 45 seconds left in this half.
Sills, a decision to make here for his offense. 15 seconds on the play clock. Trying to count it down, most likely going to take a knee and end the half. I think that would almost be fitting for the situation here.
Absolutely.
But they're going to choose to run it inside, and it's going to be nowhere. That's going to run out the remainder of the clock. We'll see if El Camino chooses to stay on the field to run one more play.
It's a timeout for Moorpark.
22 seconds left on the clock. We're going to step away. We're going to step away here for a little bit of advertising. We'll see you guys after the end of the timeout.
This game is brought to you in part by Boost Mobile. Great devices for the right price. DCH Auto Group, delivering customer happiness. Wood Ranch, make the right call. We cater fun parties.
Yeah, we're going to invite them, but that's going to get there yet. What do you mean? No, we'll exit. Don't worry. I'll wrap it up. I'm going to say we're headed over to...
An abridged hierarchy of man's needs. Clothing, shelter, duct tape, and beef. But not just any beef. Beef that meets Firehouse Subs' stubborn standards for unfettered flavor. Smoked in a smokehouse for no fewer than 16 hours. Then married to cheddar and steamed to unparalleled palatability. It's a man's needs reinterpreted by a man's man. A fireman. Recharged and ready to roll. Firehouse Subs.
And we're back here after the timeout. It's quarterback Sills still on the field. We only saw one series with their other quarterback, number 7, Connor Miller. And they're going to play one more. It looks 22 seconds. It's a low snap, and it's going to be a quarterback keeper. He's going to run to the outside, trying to catch the defense off guard, and he's going to be down.
We have another flag on the play. They're really working Sills. Sills is definitely putting his wheels on today. Been running all over the field back and forth.
Possibly going to see a different quarterback read at the second half. We'll see 16.5 seconds left on the clock. It's now third down. We see Sills pointing towards the Raider end zone. We saw the Raider coaches pointing towards El Camino, saying it was their fault for whatever went down with the penalty. We'll see how that ends up being called. We'll see from the head referee in just moments. So it's going to be holding against El Camino. It's going to send him back 10 yards. But now at this point, it's half the distance to the goal line from the original line of scrimmage.
16 seconds in this half left. Surprising to see that El Camino doesn't want to just take a knee and take this into the locker room, get these boys freshened up.
Like I said, I almost feel like their coaching staff is in a complete disarray right now, and they don't know how to act on the situation.
Yeah.
As odd of a comment as that might be, it just feels like that. And I don't think they're going to take a knee here either. They're going to choose to run it up the center. It's going to be their feature back number 22, who's almost tackled in the end zone. Yeah, and it's going to be safety on the play. And they're going to call a timeout. So El Camino really wants to score here.
El Camino definitely kind of wearing this clock out. They're within their own 10 and, about 95 yards away from a touchdown. It's kind of confusing why they're still calling timeouts and trying to burn this clock out as much as they are. I don't know if they're practicing their own 2-minute drill in this first half like it's the second half, but kind of confusing.
Just trying to run plays against the Raiders to see what they have defensively, but I don't know why you'd put your offense in that kind of situation.
Absolutely.
Where you're so far back in your end zone. Just take the time off the clock, get back to a point where you can come back onto the field next half.
As we saw, they almost let up a safety right now to them, and that would have made that even a tighter game, making that a 9-point game.
It doesn't seem like it would make any sense to me. And, obviously we're on the same page about that. We'll see how this ends up turning out.
We'll see at halftime what Ryan has on input on that. See
it's fourth down. It's fourth down. Why would you punt the ball? You obviously gave up the run all the way to the end zone beforehand.
Hey, you know what? They're punting in a terrible situation.
Yeah.
We could see a touchdown right here coming into the half.
Fans, stay attentive here. We have a chance. It's
going
to be
kicked it. I don't know if
and that's going to be down. This clock is going to run out, and that's going to be all she wrote for the first half. Excuse me, no, we have 0.7 seconds left on the clock.
0.7 seconds. We'll see if
the Raiders will most likely take a knee here.
Take the smart move and take a knee. Though this game's been going the way it is, I wouldn't be surprised if Stewart wants to air this ball out and give it a shot down the field.
So Cato out onto the field. They're going to have full personnel, but I don't think they're going to spread out. We'll see. 0.7 is still enough.
Yeah, it looks like they're putting a play together right now.
And they're going to put the play out, so they're going to run it. Well, they're going to play one more time. And it's going to be River Meza out onto the field. It's been a while since he's been in the backfield. Saw a lot of Isaiah Johnson in the last series. And that's going to be a penalty for running down the play clock. Delay of game, 5-yard penalty. It's still first down. The Raiders play now from their 40-yard line. Moral of the story is 0.7 seconds left on the clock.
And kind of the theme of this game so far has been penalties. We've seen a lot of penalties in this game, both sides.
Has his receiver in motion. Takes a snap back, looking to throw. It's a throwing
play.
Cato
airs it out.
Center, finds Christian Hill-Sanders. He's going to break the tackle almost, and he runs him over, and that's the end of the half. Nonetheless, stats on the board for Christian Hill-Sanders has his first reception of the year.
Hey, we got to say this was a real positive start for the Raiders, though. As we started off really rough, they really started to put it together as the second half came to an end right now.
So that's the end of the second half, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to step away while the cheerleaders are going to do their presentation, and we set up for our halftime report. Once again, I'm Emery Johnson alongside Nathan Espinoza. We'll see you in a couple minutes, ladies and gentlemen.
firefighter's duty. Fighting fires, rescuing citizens, performing copious kettlebell exercises demands a daring degree of readiness. A degree of readiness achieved eating fulfillingly flavorful Firehouse subs. With premium carved meats and cheeses steamed to tasty magnificence, then piled onto toasted rolls. Is your footwear connected to your pants? No, it's not. Because you're not a firefighter. But you can be ready like one. Firehouse Subs, the hero of all subs.
College singer student Betty Jean Hanna, who will be singing God Bless America. Let's all please stand to honor both our country and our freedom, along with the men and women who have and currently are providing it for us. And now, ladies and gentlemen, under the direction of cheer coach Kelsey Stewart and assistant coach Jordan Gershman, let's properly introduce the 2016 Moorpark College Raider cheer.
This game is brought to you in part by Custom Pie, serving up delicious wood-baked pizzas.
And the rest of the squad. Allie Burns,
Ladden Auto Group, family owned and operated for over 45 years, always close to home. Los Robles Hospital and Medical Center, well within reach.
Kenna Potter, Summer Fitch, Nina Gonzalez, Elisa Sanders, Shay Winder, Savannah Hernandez,
Conoco Oil Mac Valley, still locally owned and operated since 1950.
Gabby Fahrenkopf, and let us not forget our Raider mascot, Jason Brooks.
Moorpark Center for Dentistry. At Moorpark Center for Dentistry, we care about our community as much as you do. Peach Hill Soils. We're dedicated to mastering the art of landscaping.
gentlemen, if it's okay, how about one more hand for the Moorpark Raider cheerleaders? Thank you.
Yeah, I know. Thank you, sir.
Huh? What? Give you a shirt. I got a frisbee.
Nope, sunglasses. Thanks, sir. It was your sunglasses on. Thank you.
This game is brought to you in part by Simi Valley Buick GMC,
Yeah. Can he go up the shine? Go up there and see if there's
the California National Guard. What it takes: mind, body, and grit.
Yeah, like he
The
can
California National Guard. What it takes: mind,
And then-
body, and
Or
grit.
like yeah, like get up the hill and scooter it.
Papa John's. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
find the cat. Oh no.
Wells Fargo. Together, we'll go far.
My window? Me?
Pennymac. Great rates, great service, fast close. Boost Mobile. Great devices for the right price.
Oh, Susan, they got an extra ticket for her to go tonight at the Glendale. So she said she'll be next week.
Yeah. Oh, that's fun.
All right.
An abridged hierarchy of man's needs: clothing, shelter, duct tape, and beef. But not just any beef. Beef that meets Firehouse Subs' stubborn standards for unfettered flavor. Smoked in a smokehouse for no fewer than 16 hours. Then married to cheddar and steamed to unparalleled palatability. It's a man's needs reinterpreted by a man's man. A fireman. Recharged and ready to roll. Firehouse Subs, the hero of all subs.
By the way, Raider fans, on the back of your ticket stubs is a special offer from proud sponsor Harley's Simi Bowl and Harley's Valley Bowl, located both in Simi Valley. Each fan gets one free entry on the following nights: College Night, Thursdays, 9 p.m., Quarter Mania on Tuesdays at 9 p.m., along with Club Cosmic. Harley's Bowling Centers is a proud corporate partner of Moorpark College Athletics. So, if you're a veteran, a dependent of a veteran, or a community supporter of veterans, why not visit the newly expanded Moorpark College Veterans Resource Center? There, you can find assistance understanding your VA benefits, work with veteran counselors on VA-approved educational plans.
Welcome to the halftime show. UCLA is proud to sponsor tonight's game with neighborhood offices in Simi Valley, Porter Ranch, Thousand Oaks, Westlake, the very best in healthcare near you. My name's Nathan Espinosa. I'm here with Ryan. Ryan, tell me a little bit about what was going on down on the field.
Well, down on the field, even though the Moorpark Raiders started slow, of course, as you saw during the game, El Camino scored 14 straight points. Then there was a field goal kick by the Raiders, and then 14 more straight points. The Raiders, they stayed positive. That was the biggest thing. All the players, all the coaches, they just kept riling them up, saying that there's still another half to play. It's not over yet.
Absolutely. We saw after that defensive score by James Perryman a switch in momentum. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yes, that was a big switch in momentum. Basically, the score is 28-3. It was the second quarter. And the coaches, after El Camino scored their last time to get that 28th point, basically all the coaches and the defensive players came together and they said, it's not over yet. Stop thinking about it too much. Just have fun out there. Just go play. And that's when James Perryman had the forced fumble recovery for the touchdown, and then the punt return for a touchdown.
Yes. The punt return, if it's special teams or defense, we're both getting it down.
Yes.
What are you seeing out there from El Camino? Are they getting tired at all? Are they getting fired up? I noticed they're a little more worn out than they were to kick off the game.
During the first quarter, El Camino, they were keeping their offense on the field. The defense wasn't on the field too much, so they weren't tired. But in the second quarter, when the momentum changed and Moorpark, they took more possession of the football, that's when El Camino, they started to become slower. They started to become sluggish, especially with those big defensive linemen they have out there.
What are you seeing on the field from both different quarterbacks from El Camino? We noticed they're switching up quarterbacks pretty often.
The starting quarterback, the one that actually started the game, he was playing great. He was able to escape the pocket very easily. Then when the backup came in, that's kind of when the momentum change happened. Okay. They had their backup quarterback. He wasn't playing as well during the game, so the defense was able to get a lot more pressure, meaning Moorpark's defense, and then that's when kind of the momentum changed as well. So the starting quarterback, he had a little more success.
Excellent. What are some adjustments we can expect to see from Moorpark coming out in the second half?
Some adjustments. You should see the offensive line. They are going to be protecting a lot more. They were actually, all the coaches, they were just trying to cram it in the offensive line head that they need to protect the quarterback. Actually, one of the offensive linemen, they were talking to each other and they were saying, it's our job to protect the quarterback. It's our offense. We need to protect them. Then on the defensive side, basically they want quarterback protection. They want, for the defensive ends, they need to run up the middle. They need to have the quarterback stay in the pocket.
Okay.
So that's what they were stressing a lot. And also the strong safeties, they were stressing that all the safeties, they come up, cover the wide receivers, and make sure the quarterback does not pass that line of scrimmage.
Excellent. Sounds good. We're going to shoot back down over to an interview with Ryan right here. We'll see you guys at the end of the game. Thank you.
We remind everybody, Luminary Photo for all of your photography needs, portraits, headshots, families, babies, special events, weddings, and sports. Photos today, memories forever. That's Luminary Photo.
This game is brought to you in part by UCLA Health. It begins with you.
Actually, one of the representatives for UCLA Health. What is the strategic position? Because, of course, Moorpark College, they're one of the biggest community colleges in the area. What is the strategic position for both UCLA and for Moorpark to be able to have them as partners?
Thank you, Ryan, and thanks very much for having us here. It's a great opportunity for us, and we really appreciate it.
Thanks for being here.
Moorpark College sits right in the middle of all of our expansion practices. UCLA Health has moved out of Westwood, and we are opening community practices. We've got now practices in Simi Valley, in Westlake Village, Thousand Oaks, Porter Ranch, and of course, Moorpark sits right in the middle of that geography. So we are thrilled to have the opportunity to support the college, to support college athletics. But it also works well for us because it helps to raise awareness in the community for the services and our great doctors that we have very close to home.
Speaking of the services, what type of services do you offer in the close locations?
We've got primary care doctors, we've got specialists, we've got pain management, for instance, is a specialty that we have at Thousand Oaks. We have an OBGYN practice in Westlake Village. We really have physicians that can see everyone in the family.
Definitely, that's great. And I know you said that Moorpark is kind of in the middle of all your locations out here. How many alumni do you have, or are you able to pull out a lot of Moorpark College students after they, of course, transfer to be able to go to UCLA Health?
We do have a lot of Moorpark College alumni working for us, and it's really terrific to see the college producing so many great graduates that are so valuable to community businesses. And I believe there's some of them here tonight enjoying the game. So yeah, we are thrilled to have Moorpark College graduates working for us.
And for UCLA Health, do they help out with any of the actual classes, like teaching or talking to the professors to be able to manage everything that the students are being taught so that they could go to UCLA Health and be able to be big contributors?
We haven't had that involvement yet, but our presence in the community is growing all the time, so who knows what might happen in the future.
Definitely, and you guys are doing great. And also, being at this football game and being, the main sponsor of this game, the first home game of the season, what does that mean for you and UCLA Health in general?
Well, in general, I think this is our wheelhouse. This is health and wellness at its finest, right? We've got all sorts of young people out there on the field. They're active, they're athletic, they're doing amazing things. The cheerleaders are fabulous. I think it just and it's a very it's a committed group of people that are here. They're outdoors. They like to play sports. These are we're all about health and wellness at UCLA Health. We're all about promoting that. So it's a really good partnership for us.
And speaking of UCLA Health, of course, it's located in Westwood. That's where the actual college is located, of course, as you know. But, of course, you have the locations over here. What's the difference between them?
There's no difference. Our locations out here, our physicians are exactly the same as they are in Westwood. They're educated the same way. Their credentials are all the same way. You are getting the same quality physicians out here as you would get if you went to Westwood.
Well, that's great. Thank you very much, Nikki Bonner, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for the opportunity, Ryan. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
UCLA Health. It begins with you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we ask all of you to take a look inside that blue bag you received when you entered the stadium. And please pull out your rally towel as the cheerleaders are going to be waving those towels. Keep an eye on the cheerleaders. They're going to, right about kickoff of the third quarter, coming right up. They're going to be waving those towels and asking you to do the same as we cheer on both the offense and the defense of the Moorpark Raiders.
Right out here. Totally not nighttime. Wait, can I give you back the trash? Yeah, give me back the trash. Can we do that? Yeah, put on your jacket. We have time right now.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We're back here after the half. I hope you enjoyed our halftime show featuring Nikki Bonner from UCLA Health. Once again, I'm Emery Johnson alongside Nathan Espinoza. So what a crazy halftime we've had here.
Yes, we have.
You know, remember at the very beginning, the Raiders did win that coin toss, so we are going to get possession to start the second half. It will be interesting to see, especially based on your guys' predictions from the halftime, where we're going to be at regarding, you know, how the Raiders are going to attack this El Camino defense. Are they going to be tired? Are they going to be ready to go? How's the offense going to react? There's so many questions that we'll be able to see, so I'm excited to finally dive into this second half. It's been...
Yes, sir. I expect big things out of this Raiders offense and defense the second half. You know, I'm going to throw special teams in on that, too. Our special teams have been big.
And the kick is up, and it's going to be Mr. Newborn to take the kick. He's going to have it around the 5. He's going to be trying to find a hole, and he's going to be hit and brought down around the 44-yard line.
I don't know who was hit, the defender or the offense. That was a nice hit on both sides.
He tried to truck him and just got brought down with the truck, but, I mean, I'm sure the defender really felt that in his chest plate.
Absolutely.
14 minutes, 55 seconds to play in the third quarter.
Now, if you were paying attention during the halftime report, we did talk to Ryan down there. Ryan was talking about how the coaches were very sure to make sure that the team knew we still have a second half of football to play. Don't give up. Don't quit fighting. As we got a penalty right now trying to get 12th man off the field, we're going to see a penalty kick off the second half for the Raiders.
Raiders started off pretty poorly here if it's going to be first and now 15. From their own, what looks to be 19-yard line. The Raiders now have all the personnel they need. Everyone's going to be set. Few players in the backfield for El Camino. They have the receiver in motion. It's going to be a split back for out of the shotgun for Cato. Cato fakes the handoff. It's going to be a quarterback keeper. He's going to be brought down with what looks to be a gain of 3 yards. 14 minutes and 45 seconds left to play on the clock. It's now going to be second and what looks to be 14. I don't think the PA knows exactly what the hash means. It's not second and 12 right now. Don't listen to him, ladies and gentlemen.
Hopefully they can't hear too much from there.
It's definitely second and 14 now for the Raiders. Have some room to make up. Cato with his back beside him takes a snap back. It's a throwing play. He had the bubble, but it was going to be number 22. That looks to be Corbin Covey. The ball bounced out of his hands, wasn't able to hold on to it.
Corbin Covey, another player out of Adolfo Camarillo High School right here in Camarillo.
The Raiders like to promote from within, but they also have a lot of players from out of state.
Absolutely.
So it's third down and 14 still.
See if we can make the adjustments in the halftime locker room. We're going to make a difference in the second half.
Cato, delayed snap count.
Taking his time with 10 seconds left on the play clock.
8 seconds left. 14 minutes and 12 seconds left in the third quarter. Cato jumps into the pocket, fires, and it's almost intercepted just off the hands of number 22, Corbin Covey. Once again, nowhere to go on that one, and there's going to be a flag on the field.
Hopefully we don't have to see this Raiders team settle down again after coming back out.
Now it's going to be a personal foul against the Raiders.
Mr. Davis, you doing good? Awesome. I'm doing great. First game of the season for me to do it.
No worries, moving that Raiders ball back again.
It's going good.
Raiders
just
again.
Up the halftime show.
We're going to have to work on these penalties as we move this ball back to the 10-yard line for the Raiders. Almost deep in their end zone. We have the punter, Evan Benson really working today as we keep talking about it.
They have their kick returner out on the 45, so they're not giving him any respect there. And the kick is just barely off. And he's going to call for the fair catch around what looks to be the 46-yard line of El Camino.
El Camino bringing this offense out to question and see who we're going to see. We're actually going to see Sills again. Sills again for this one. As we talked about, we have two quarterbacks for El Camino, Miller being the other. Sills back out here again. He's been playing the majority of this. We saw Miller during the second quarter, but not much of it, not the entire thing. Now we have Sills back in. We might see some fireworks. Here we go.
Raiders looking very strong on defense in the first half. We'll see how they can translate that over to the second half. Sills fakes the handoff. It's going to be a throwing play. He's going to be featuring some pressure, and it's going to be a low throw to intended receiver, what looks to be number 86. That should be Timothy Jones. Jordan Flack definitely in pursuit of Sills there on the play. He had a clear line to him. He was seeing red, if you will.
Yes, he was. Chasing that thing down like a bull.
Sills is fast, but I don't think he's that fast.
No, had to get rid of him before it was too late.
Takes a snap back, hands it off to their running back. That's number 6. He's going to be hit really hard, almost in the face.
Janelle Jackson back again with the ball.
Yeah, didn't see much of him after the first quarter. He's now finally back in the rotation in this third quarter.
Again, I'm going to comment on them. Really good on rotations. El Camino, it's hard to keep up with how many running backs and quarterbacks are switching in and out of this offense.
Now they're going to be playing out a pistol. Has his back behind him. Still a chance for receivers out here on the field. It's going to be 3rd and 9. Raiders need to come up huge here. It's going to be a passing play. And almost intercepted once again.
Once again with the pickoff. Joseph Guerrero almost catching that ball.
Do the Raiders get enough chances?
Oh, my.
Or should we just say they no longer get a chance to intercept the ball?
You know, these balls are nailing them right in the hands, and sometimes I think they're just moving a little bit too fast and not seeing what's going on. The ball bounced right off of Joseph Guerrero's hands. Strong safety out of Moorpark right here, local hometown boy.
Ray Thomas out to take the punt for the Raiders. It's going to be 4th and 9. They're going to be punting from around the 31-yard line.
Nonetheless, able to move on to get this offense back on the field for Moorpark.
What a football name, Ray Thomas. Ray Thomas around the 15-yard line. He's going to touch the ball, and now
it's hard to tell whether he touched that ball or if he pulled his hands off before he even touched it.
I think he pulled his hands off.
I do too. It looks like El Camino thinks it was a muffed punt because they picked it up and ran it into the end zone as if it was a touchdown. We're not seeing anything from the refs yet, though. The ball's down on the 15. Looks like they're going to call it untouched. Moorpark ball on the 15.
Raiders get a break there. That could have been spelling disaster.
One muff in the game is too much. 2 muffs.
That's how you lose football games.
That's how you lose football games. Possessions is everything.
Yeah. So the Raiders going to start from their own 15 again. Field possession being very poor for them, but important that the Raiders defense was able to keep El Camino to a 3-and-out possession.
Absolutely. We still see some confusion. I see some El Camino players pointing their hands as if it was their ball. I don't think that it's it's confirmed that it's Raider ball on the 15. El Camino's defense a little confused right now, trying to scramble to get everything together.
All right, 13 minutes left on the play clock in the third quarter. Cato out of pistol, has Isaiah Johnson behind him. Takes a snap back, hands it off to Johnson. Johnson through the middle. He finds a hole. He's out to the left-hand side. He has his hand on the head of the guy pursuing him, and there's going to be a penalty on the play.
Great stiff arm by Isaiah Johnson as he broke out field.
It's number 25, Nathaniel Vaughn, eventually on the tackle. We'll see what the flag is on, possibly continuing the tackle after he reached out of bounds. We'll see. We can only hope that it's going to be a first down for the Raiders here. I don't see a reason why it should be sent backwards. Referee's still deliberating. They're going to be talking to the coaches of Moorpark. It's going to be a personal foul face mask against the Raiders.
Such a positive play to become negative. Finally see Isaiah Johnson break out of the backfield and make some moves, and sadly we're going to have that pulled back already and lose some yardage again. Back
to be completely honest, I don't know how the referees saw that. There's no one with a clear view.
Yeah.
I think they just saw the stiff arm to the head and presumed that it was automatically going to be a personal foul. Poor calling by the refs on their end. If that is the case. Still out of pistol. 1st and 11. Isaiah drops the ball. Picked up by Cato. He's going to try and make something out of it. He at least gets back to the line of scrimmage. Should be good for a gain of 1, so back to 2nd and 10.
I think we're seeing another personal foul as Cato Brown was hit after he went down.
Yeah. El Camino really trying to make sure that they get guys down.
Yeah.
I think, if I can make a modern or a current look at this, if you can see how, not taking anything away from the Broncos defense, but the fact that they were just continuing every tackle to the complete fruition of the play. I don't think it was necessary in order to do that. The guy was already down, but they're going to send the ball back for the Raiders?
Oh, I don't know. It could have been a block in the back or a holding play. I saw.
It was a late tackle, if I was not mistaken.
I saw Osachukwu back there behind the quarterback. He could have had a holding call on that one. We'll see. Raiders now move back.
In desperate need of yards here. It's first and super long, almost
really
20.
Deep.
It's first and 19. Cato has back beside him, takes a snap back. It's going to be a quarterback keeper. He's running up the inside. He's going to be stuffed up and brought down with a gain of 2 yards. I get a chance because of the time delay here on the stream. We're going to see Isaiah Johnson running to the inside. We'll see if it was. And to be honest, I don't know if I looked at it a second time. The line judge who actually threw the flag was way in front of the play. I don't know if he could actually see that clearly. Nonetheless, the Raiders still deep in their own territory. Cato takes a snap back, fires. It's going to be a screen. Finds Newborn on the inside. Excuse me, not Newborn. But that should be a penalty. Absolutely is a penalty.
Absolutely. DJ Farmer on that one as he moved his way
me.
up the field. Again, what I thought had happened to Cato Brown, someone hit him after the play was over. We're going to see a personal foul, and this ball moved up the field on a penalty.
El Camino not being very nice with their tackles here.
Oh, definitely a very physical group out of El Camino.
Yeah. One thing that I really do dislike about football is the fact that a targeting penalty is not considered more of a penalty. It's looked at, just as a personal foul. I think when you really go after someone, especially after they've been down, that is a complete misunderstanding of how to play football.
Absolutely. Loss of fundamentals.
So this is going to send the ball way up. The Raiders going to get their ball now on what looks to be the 31-yard line. So now in decent territory. I see the tight end back on the field. We'll see if he's going to be used as a running block or if he's going to be used as a receiver out of the slot. Cato takes the ball in shotgun, takes a snap. And it's going to be a quarterback keeper, fakes a snap to Isaiah Johnson, and he's going to be in there good for a gain of 9 yards. Almost a first down there. It was just the knee that actually stopped it.
There we go. Cato, out of baby Cato to turn this thing around. Now looking at 2nd and 2 after a 1st and 20 a moment ago.
11 and 5 seconds on the clock. Cato takes a snap, fakes the handoff again to Isaiah Johnson. He's going to be good up the inside, and there's going to be a flag around the line of scrimmage, possibly a holding against the Raiders.
The Raiders must see something in this defense from El Camino because they keep shooting Cato Brown right up the gut, and he's got at least 8 yards on each play right now.
Gray Thomas coming onto the field in replacement of Isaiah Johnson. It's going to be a hold, sending the play back about 10 yards. So the Raiders just accumulating tons of yards still. The fact is, even since Pierce College, they have not addressed the fact that they're not very tight on their post-game play, on their penalty play.
Absolutely. Yeah, they're definitely receiving a lot more penalties. They're shooting themselves in the foot more often than they're not.
Cato out of shotgun once again. Hands it off, and that's going to be nothing but a loss of yards there. It's going to be Ray Thomas on the run. 10:34 left on the clock, you were saying?
These guys got to stop shooting themselves in the foot if they want to make it up the field. Every time they get a little yardage, they kind of, like I said, shoot themselves in the foot and move it back to where they're at now, looking at themselves under the 30 after being close to the 40.
So it's going to be 3rd and long now for the Raiders. Have to get some yardage. Cato, throwing play, fires, hits Sanders over the center.
Sanders holding on to that ball.
And they're going to throw flags.
Oh, Sanders threw the ball down, spiked it.
That.
Unsportsmanlike conduct from Sanders. Unfortunate, because sometimes emotion just gets the best of you on a good play like that. Sanders caught the ball as it was lit up and stayed up and kept moving until he was brought down. Slammed the ball as he stood up, and you just can't do that. You can't do that and cost your team, especially in a situation like this.
And that's going to be assessed after the play, so the penalty will only be given after the play is called. So it will still be good for the yards that it's given, but if I'm not mistaken, that's a 15-yard penalty.
Yes, absolutely.
This is hurting my soul.
I don't know.
I think that's what the refs are discussing right now. The refs are grouped up in the center of the field trying to figure out what's going on.
The question remains, do they think it was a first down? So there's Raiders sent way back. It's still third down. Excuse me, fourth down. So it's going to be assessed at the end of the play, 15-yard penalty. The Raiders going to be now punting from their about 10-yard line. Benson, like you said before, making
his earn today.
Yeah. It's going to be number 3 out for El Camino. That's Jalen Wyatt. Benson gets the punt up and away. It's a good punt around the 40-yard line.
Wyatt's going to take
Wyatt's going to take it, and he's going to break 1 tackle, break 2 tackle. There's a flag out on the field, and he's going to be brought down, stuffed up around the 36-yard line.
He was not going down without a fight.
No, he was not.
That number 42 on the tackle, Mark Martin.
The Raiders like gnats on him. He wasn't going anywhere. We're going to have a 1st and 10.
The public address announcer taking words right out of your mouth, Nathan. How do you feel?
Hey, I think we're a little too close over here for him to hear me.
Let's see here what the penalty is going to bring. It's probably going to bring El Camino back a little bit farther. Looked like a illegal block in the back.
At least we know that the Raiders aren't the only ones being penalized tonight. A little bit of sloppy play on both sides of the ball so far. And of course, as expected, we have a change in quarterback. No more Sills out there.
It's going to be Miller. No, excuse me, it is Sills.
Oh, it is. You know what? That's my fault. Yeah, Sills is still out there.
Thrown way out of bounds. No intended receiver on that play. I think he was scrambling. There was Jordan Flack and James Perryman running towards him. 9 minutes and 27 seconds left on the clock. He's going to have all four receivers out on the field for him, all his weapons. It's going to be a fake run, and it's going to be a quarterback keeper. Should be a holding play on that one, a holding call on that one. You can see the offensive lineman gripped the side of Jordan Flack's jersey on that play.
Yeah, very similar styles of play between both the quarterback from Moorpark and El Camino. Sills has a very similar style to Cato Brown. Likes to tuck the ball and take off with it as much as he can.
It's going to be third down and what looks to be 7 now for El Camino. Sills takes a snap. It's the throwing play, trying to find a guy over the center, and it's going to be incomplete. Intended receiver number 22. That's Donovan Davis. Not able to come down with it. Running back playing out of the slot. He was going to be going out for the reception, trying to find the ball, but it bounced out of his hands. Incomplete. The Raiders are now with another 3 and out. It's just trading blows here for defenses.
It is. The best thing you can hope for right now is a great play return from our special teams.
So you're going to have number 25, Ray Thomas, again out on the field for the Raiders to take the punt.
About time for Ray to put a touchdown in himself.
The punt is up, and it's going to be a little bit short this time. Hopefully it doesn't land on anybody in particular. It's going to roll down to what looks to be the roughly 35-yard line, 34 and a half.
Okay, one more chance to see this Raiders offense. See if Cato can get something working finally. Even though the Raiders are only 11 down.
That's striking distance. That's less than 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, you put a touchdown in right now, you're in the ball game. And I have to say they're already in the ball game with just the 2 scores we have from the punt return and the defensive touchdown.
Time is running down, though. Cato needs to make his impact on this game. Has 3 eligible receivers to his left, 1 to his right. Fakes a handoff to Isaiah Johnson, gets the run up, what looks to be a gain of 4 yards on the play, or 3. They like running that fake run to Isaiah Johnson. Obviously, El Camino respecting Johnson and his running ability.
Absolutely. Meza works his way back in for Johnson as they pull Johnson off the field for a second for a breather.
It's a gain of 3 on that play. Meza on the field, like you said. No tight end on the field. All receivers out. It's going to be 3 to the right, 1 to the left. Cato takes the snap back. He's going to be rolling out to the right-hand side, trying to find a guy, and he hits his receiver.
Late hit on Cato. Number 55 from the Warriors had a late hit. Dallas Tufei.
Cato is wincing over in pain right now.
Yeah, Cato is bent over. He definitely got caught off after he was hit. He's holding his stomach a little bit. Maybe he got the wind knocked out of him.
That should be a personal foul. Yeah, there it is. There's the call.
Personal foul.
That was a dirty play by El Camino there.
Absolutely. 15 yards, they're going to move this up.
Cato's at the end of the catch.
Absolutely. Cato's still catching his breath, working his way back over to the field. Tough kid Cato is. Been taking a lot of hits tonight.
So the ball is going to be placed on the on the 34-yard line.
34-yard line. That's a big, big gain for the Raiders. See if we can make something out of this as they get closer to the red zone.
El Camino needs to realize that these penalties are eventually going to kill them.
Yes.
The Raiders are going to take advantage of that in any way they can.
The Raiders have to at this point.
Cato, out of shotgun, has his back beside him. Puts his receiver in motion. And it's going to be a false start on the Raiders.
You know, these penalties are only helpful if the Raiders can stop shooting themselves in the foot.
It's going to be a loss of 5 yards on the play. It's going to send it back to the 39. First and 15 now for the Raiders. 7 minutes and 38 seconds. You got to think they have to be thinking they got to put points on the board here.
Yes.
This is a must-score situation if they want to get their foothold back in the game. First and 15. Cato has stacked up receivers on the right and 2 spread out on the left. Puts his receiver in motion. And there's another false start.
As DJ Farmer worked his way over in motion, second time that's happened, DJ in motion, and we're going to get a false start on that. I don't know what's going on with the Raiders offense, giving up 10 yards in a row right now, kind of almost deleting that personal foul penalty that they received a moment ago.
They're going to be located around the 49-yard line now. It's a loss of 10 yards. It's going to be first and 20. Lots of space to make up here. At first, they looked like they were in scoring distance. Now it looks like they have the entire field to make up.
What 10 yards will do for you.
Split back formation out of shotgun. Takes a snap back, fakes the handoff. He's going to step into the pocket, and he's going to be hit once and twice, and he's going to be brought down around the 49-yard line on the Raiders side of the field.
The pocket absolutely collapsed on Cato. Brown taking the credit on that one, saying it was his fault as he patted himself.
So now it's going to be what looks like first down and almost a quarter of the field.
It's nice to see this team kind of settling down and trying to fight this thing out. You know, I think they're a little bit, had the emotions in them, and we're getting a little shaken in the first half. Cato Brown looks to be very composed and settled down in the second half. Even with everything going wrong and not showing any frustration.
River Meza out to his right-hand side. Cato out of shotgun, delayed snap count. 7 seconds on the play clock, got to get the snap off in time. 16-16, 6:16 on the clock. Fires over the left-hand side, hits Osachukwu, who's going to be running in, trying to find a spot to run through, and he gets hit and brought down by 3 El Camino defensive backs. It's going to be good for a gain of 6. Brings him back, and now it's going to be third and 20.
Have to air it out on this one if you want to see a difference.
Jackson on the stop against El Camino.
Just to put them in striking distance. We'll see if Gavin Todd has leg enough to get them through the uprights. That's a long field goal. If it's even or at the 35, it's still a 45-yard field goal. Like I said, though, before, he does have a leg enough to do it in practice. Fires, hits his receiver, and he's going to be down. Around the 20, what looks like 8-yard line. That's number 22.
That's Corbin Covey with the catch, but Covey's down after airing it out. He really threw his body up there, landed on his back though as he comes down with that. He's down right now as his athletic trainer over to him. We're going to take a moment right now while Corbin takes a breath. We can see if this player's all right.
Yeah, we'll take a break right now, ladies and gentlemen. We hope he's all right. Everyone, on their knees now on the field. This does
Prayers
not
out
look
for
good
Kobe
for him.
right now.
We'll see you guys in a second.
This game is brought to you in part by DCH Auto Group, delivering customer happiness.
A firefighter's duty. Fighting fires, rescuing citizens, performing copious kettlebell exercises demands a daring degree of readiness. A degree of readiness achieved eating fulfillingly flavorful Firehouse subs. With premium carved meats and cheeses steamed to tasty magnificence, then piled onto toasted rolls. Is your footwear connected to your pants? No, it's not. Because you're not a firefighter. But you can be ready like one. Firehouse subs, the hero of all subs.
This game is brought to you in part by Moorpark Center for Dentistry. At Moorpark Center for Dentistry, we care about our community as much as you do.
All right, guys, Corbin Covey gets back up after that. The trainer's looking at him for a while. He wasn't moving, but it's now 4th down.
He slowly walks his way over to the sideline. The positive thing is we've seen him walk. One of the first things we looked for was for some movement right after he went down, and luckily the trainer had to move his arm and he picked it up pretty quickly.
The Raiders are going to go for it on 4th down. Feel like they have only one chance at this right here.
4th and 5.
It's 4th and 5. 5 minutes and 3 seconds left on the clock. All receivers out for him. Cato's going to roll out to the left-hand side. He fires deep down the field, and there's going to be a pass interference call called on the play. There it is. The Raiders going to get a 1st down on a 4th down play, catching El Camino completely off guard. I don't think they're expecting that.
Oh my! You got to give kudos to Cato on that one. He saw the pass interference, aired that thing out, knowing he was going to get a penalty on that one. That's a very veteran move from Cato.
Let's give a second to give our respects to Corbin Covey for making a great play. If it wasn't for him putting them in that position, that would have never happened there. And we're glad he's okay and walking around. We're going to talk to our on-field reporter in a second here. Let's give it a few moments and see what this drive turns into.
Here we are. Let's make some noise. The crowd is getting fired up.
Cato has his favorite back behind him. It's Isaiah Johnson. They're going to be probably playing out a pistol. They have the receiver stacked on either side.
1st and 10. 15 yards from the touchdown.
1st and 10 from the 15, like you said. 4 minutes and 53 seconds out of pistol. There's a defensive end on the corner trying to get antsy. He's going to be a blitz. And it's going to be Cato out the outside. He's going to be running up. Cato in for 4. Is it a touchdown? That's the question. Cato through the 5, and it's into a touchdown. Moorpark Raiders are able to capitalize on that play.
Cato
Good
takes
team
his
effort.
helmet off and runs down the field in excitement, getting this Raiders team fired up. Now the Raiders are looking at a 24-28 score, just 4 points away from leading this game.
And it looks like they're going to be calling for 2 here. Raiders trying to close the lead, close El Camino's lead by a little bit more. It's 23-28. If they capitalize, it's 25-28, and puts them within winning distance if they get a field goal.
Absolutely. They put a field goal, and this game is tied after this. We got to make sure we get this 2-point in.
4 minutes and 44 seconds left on the clock.
Again, Isaiah Johnson behind Cato. Cato was quick to put his helmet back on. I didn't even see him get back out on that field.
Emmanuel Asachukwu to his right, his favorite receiver, takes a snap back looking to throw the ball. It's going to be a quarterback keeper.
Keep it in
He's going to have a lane, is he? And he's going to be brought down just shy.
Wow. Took a hit on that one, but Raiders still within 5.
Raiders within 5. It's now a touchdown that separates these two teams.
As I noted in the beginning, hopefully the Raiders can keep this intensity up throughout the whole game. It seems that El Camino's forte is big plays in the first half and wearing out in the second half. That looks like what's going on right now. El Camino still tired after this halftime. Raiders coming back slowly.
And we're going to head over to our on-field reporter. So, obviously we just had that injury with Corbin Covey. Can you tell us what's going on with him?
Yes, basically what happened was Corbin Covey, of course, he jumped up, made that miraculous catch. But when he came down, it looked like he came down on his upper back area. They thought it might have been a concussion. He still had all motions in his hands, his feet, everything. He just said it was kind of a kink in his neck. It's nothing really to be worried about. Should see him out there sometime in the.
Hey, we're having a little bit of trouble with your microphone, Ryan. If you could walk back a little bit, that would be much appreciated.
No problem.
What Ryan was getting at was
Corbin Covey.
We're going to see a positive return for Corbin Covey as we come back.
All right, we're going to jump away for a second. Sorry about that, Ryan, but we have to. There's a game going on. Thank you for that insight, though. And we'll come right back to you in a second and a little bit later. Is that okay?
That's fine.
All right. That was Ryan Ketchum in on the on-field reporting there. Good to hear that Corbin Covey does not have a concussion and isn't being screened right now, so he is looking to come back in the game possibly tonight, most likely probable.
Well, that was a positive drive, I got to say. You know, I'm really proud of Cato for working that through. Definitely put the team on his back a lot on that one. As we saw, they definitely respect what Isaiah Johnson can do. When Isaiah Johnson's in the field, they definitely let Cato run a little more.
And it's going to be, wow, wow, and wow.
Play. Joseph Guerrero again all day with this kid.
I mean, is it too much to say that David Sills is just being torn apart right now in the backfield? I really... They look confused.
Absolutely. And you mentioned it earlier. I don't know what's going on with the coaching staff. This second half, this El Camino team is different than this first quarter. The first quarter team looks completely different than this whole second half team.
So, I mean, what else can you say? It's 2nd and 21 from their own, what looks to be 14-yard line, 13-yard line. Sills fumbles the pass. It's going to be brought down. I don't know who came up with the ball on that one. It looks like it's El Camino, but another loss of yards. I mean, it's complete disarray at this point.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Emery. The one thing I want to note is it's just hard to see. All I see is confusion when I look down there. I see El Camino. Every time, it looks like guys are going toward each other, away from each other, and it doesn't look like they know what's going on.
3rd and a quarter of the field to go here for El Camino. Sills going to delay his snap count. Looking to find a space to probably get them in better punting position. He's going to fire over the middle.
Oh!
Intercepted! Number 17! He's going to be running down to the 10-yard line. To the 5! It's a touchdown! Moorpark College! Raiders, they score! They're ahead now! Can you believe it?
Hayden Galvin with the amazing interception, taking it back. I was just going to note that Sills was dealing with him, throwing the ball in the end zone, threw it straight over to Galvin, and Galvin just took it right into the end zone for a score.
But despite the enthusiasm, it's no longer a touchdown. They're going to say his knee was down around the 34-yard line. Unfortunate for the Raiders, but it's 2 minutes and 56 seconds left to play on the clock. No touchdown on the play.
No touchdown on the play. We're moments away from the promised land right there. First time the Raiders would have led in the game.
Cato out of shotgun, has 3 receivers to his left, sends his receiver in motion.
So they called him down at the 29-yard line.
Takes a snap, fumbles the snap, but he fires it across the center and hits his receiver in the hand. Incomplete. That was number 19, the intended receiver, Cade Schmitz.
I hate to say it, but it looked like the ref was in the way of that one. Cato kind of had to fire that ball a little behind the receiver to make sure it didn't hit that referee. Sometimes you wish those refs were just playing a little bit farther back, but you hate to criticize that because they're in there in the middle of the game. It's hard to criticize anything they have to do right there.
Cato is now playing out a pistol, was at shotgun. Takes a snap, fakes a handoff, it's a screen to Emmanuel. Emmanuel fighting his way up, he's brought down around what looks to be the 23-yard line. It's now going to be 3rd and what looks to be 3 yards. The Raiders close once again. We'll see if they try to go for it on 4th down or if they'll take the points to close the lead. Remember, it's 23-28 now. Third down. I didn't mean the fourth down comment. It's more or less looking in the future if they do not convert on third down.
Let's hope they can make this 3 yards. If I have to, I think Cato can work around and get 3 yards up the field.
He has River Mesa to his left. Lots of guys in the line.
Of the penalty on the play, some yellow flags all over the field.
We'll see what was called possibly a false start. And it is.
One more time.
So the Raiders sent back to what looks to be the 27-yard line. Now 3rd and 8. Puts them in a little bit of a pickle here.
Absolutely. So they work their way back out. We're looking at Raiders lining up right here on the 27-yard line, almost into the red zone.
Cato is going to be out of shotgun, has his backs beside him. Takes a snap back. He's going to have protection on the play. He's going to be choosing to run, fires, and almost intercepted. I don't know who the intended receiver was on that play. It's 4th down. Question is, which team will be on the field now?
Are we ready to see Gavin Todd make a big kick here or what?
No, Cato's going to be still on the field. He's trying to tell his coach that he wants to continue to play this. It's 4th down or bust here for the Raiders. 4th and 8. A lot of room to make up. I don't know if it would be asking too much. 1 minute and 34 seconds left to play on the clock. Cato has all his receivers to his right-hand side. And there's going to be a timeout called.
Cato looking confused.
It's going to be called by the Raiders. So we're going to step away for a second and let our advertisers have some time, ladies and gentlemen, during the timeout. We'll see you in a few moments. We're back here after the timeout. 1 minute and 34 seconds left to play on the clock. It's a 4th down chance here for the Raiders. You have to think they're trying to see the end zone on this play.
Yeah, you know, that's where they got to be going for this one. There's a minute and a half left in the 3rd. See if Cato can make some action happen.
Cato takes a snap back, looking downfield. It's a passing play. Fires. Hits his receiver in the hands of Manuel Osachukwu, but it's incomplete, and it's going to be a turnover on downs. What I think should have been a touchdown, what ended up being a sour drive. What do you have to say about that?
You know, it just heartbreaking because the Raiders saw the first chance to lead in the game. It looked like a clean catch to me. It was hard to tell without instant replay, but Galvin really worked his way on that one, worked his way upfield after the interception. You know, the positive thing is they did finally get an interception.
So it's going to be back to the running and ground game for El Camino. It's going to be a gain of 1 yard. James Perryman in the center there for the stop. Thank you for the call.
Big James Perryman. You know, already had a touchdown to get today. Been all over the field. Real big boy. I like to see him play because he always gets up in there and he holds up a couple defenders if he can.
Sills still at quarterback. Haven't seen it change since the first quarter. Takes a snap back, fakes the handoff. It's a throwing play over the center. It's going to be to number 5, their tight end, Erik Henman. He's basically their featured guy if they're going to throw to anybody.
You know, I saw him a lot in the first quarter, not much in the second, and now, you know, toward the end of the 3rd, we got to see him again. Surprised he's not more of their game plan as he catches most of the balls they throw in his direction.
47 seconds left on the clock. It's going to be a delayed set count. 17 seconds on the play clock. 1st and 10 now from El Camino's 38-yard line. Sills out of shotgun with his back beside him, takes a snap back. It's a throwing play. Tries to fire over, and his running back, number 6, wow, absolutely left out to dry. Janelle Jackson takes a huge hit. Did you see who hit him?
I did not catch that. I just saw that number 6 get bent over and slam back down.
Nonetheless, absolutely slammed by Raider defense there. They saw that coming all the way. It seemed at first they were running a lot of running backs out of the slot at first during the game, but the Raiders are now catching on.
Yeah, this Raiders defense has definitely figured out what's going on. We're not going to make the snap as we run into the third quarter.
And
that's the end of the third quarter as the Raiders are down by 5, 23-28 to the Warriors.
So we're going to step away after the end of the third quarter. We'll be returning with the fourth quarter, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, Raiders 23, Warriors 28. We'll see you in a few moments.
This game is brought to you in part by Wood Ranch. Make the right call. We cater fun parties. Custom Pie, serving up delicious wood-baked pizzas. Moorpark Center for Dentistry. At Moorpark Center for Dentistry, we care about our community as much as you do. Ladden Auto Group. Family owned and operated for over 45 years. Always close to home. Dugout Sports Grill. Ventura County's favorite sports grill.
We're back here in the third quarter. Still at shotgun. Takes a snap back. They're still throwing a whole bunch this game. This half. That's going to be a complete reception of number 6,
Janelle Jackson finally getting the ball a lot more as we're seeing it. We're going in the second half right now, started the fourth quarter. Great catch by Janelle Jackson as well. The guy really lasered it in there for him.
Now in Raiders territory. Sill's going to be playing out of pistol. Has all his receivers bunched up on the left-hand side. Takes a snap back. It's going to be a fake toss. And the running back is going to be just powering through defense.
He threw him a fake toss and then proceeded to give it to him like a traditional running back. That was an odd play, I must say. A little bit different of a trick formation.
Trying to pull out all the stops here. Looked to be a gain of 2.5 on the play. Takes a snap back. Hands it off. That's Donovan Davis up the center in there for another good first down at the 35-yard line.
Yeah, he definitely fought for a couple extra yards just to get an extra 3. Sometimes that 3 really puts you over. As many of you have heard in any given Sunday, it's a game of inches. It's a game of inches.
There's another player down on the field. We're going to go ahead and step away.
Looks like a Moorpark Raider down there on the field.
It's a Raider down on the field, and we're going to step away. 14 minutes and 9 seconds left to play on the clock. El Camino driving down the field. We'll see you in a few moments.
Nice hand to number 8.
And a brief hierarchy of man's needs. Clothing, shelter, duct tape, and beef. But not just any beef. Beef that meets Firehouse Subs' stubborn standards for unfettered flavor. Smoked in a smokehouse for no fewer than 16 hours. Then married to cheddar and steamed to unparalleled palatability. It's a man's needs reinterpreted by a man's man. A fireman. Recharged and ready to roll. Firehouse Subs, the hero of all subs.
We're back here. The Raiders player did get up after he was knocked down.
A little confusion of players right now for Moorpark defense. We had one run off and then recount, and it was 10, and had him run back out for 11. Sills has time on this clock as he looks over to the sidelines for some more direction.
It's 1st and 10 now from the Raiders 35. Sills has his back to the back right of him. Takes a snap back. They're going to go to the run again. He's going to break a tackle, 2. It's going to be good for a gain of what looks to be 8 on the play.
Again, Jackson working his way up the field, kind of patient with his running. You see him do a lot of step sides to missing tackles.
So El Camino working towards the red zone. They're going to be in pistol once again. Raiders need to stop them here because if they do, they're not going to be able to take advantage.
Yeah, El Camino running this no huddle right now, kind of really pushing the ball up the field pretty fast. I don't know if Moorpark isn't ready for this, but they're having a hard time set up every time.
It's 3rd and 1 now for El Camino.
A lot of rotations, as I keep saying with this El Camino team. Another running back and new wide receivers, new set of wide receivers, and running back coming in.
Again, number 22, Donovan Davis out on the field, their feature back. He's standing far to the right of Sills. Sills out of shotgun, has 2 receivers out for him. And they hand it off to Davis. Davis is going to find a hole, and he's going to be in there for the first down. Fresh set of downs, and they're now
inching themselves into the red zone now as they find themselves at the 23.
The Raiders can't give up any points here because if they are, it's 2 scores.
No, absolutely. If anything, the only thing that they can afford right now is a field goal.
El Camino slowly pushing up the field. I feel like it's a matter of whether and when they're going to turn the ball over. It's going to be a passing play all the way. The quarterback scrambles, finds some space, and wow, that was a hard hit on number 86.
Joseph Guerrero with the hits all day.
Timothy Jones just put straight on his face. There
Absolutely.
was nowhere to go for him on that play.
Caught or not, that was not a good way to throw the ball. Again, El Camino with the rotation as they switch out a tight end.
2nd and 10 now for El Camino, trying to air the ball out on first down. Takes a snap back to the running game. Raiders almost see it, and there's going to be 2 Raiders who collide on that play after a gain of 4.
James Perriman with the stop again.
From their running back number 5, that's Erik Henman. Excuse me. Yeah, Erik Henman, 6? It was number 6. You can correct me if you want.
Yeah, no, that was Jackson again. Jackson, like I said, keep getting the ball a lot more as we're coming into this end of the game. Saw him a lot in the beginning, and then we're seeing him a lot more toward the end. Really got through that play with the step backs, as I keep giving him credit for.
3rd and 6 now for El Camino. Go back to the run.
Jackson again.
And he's going to be stuffed up in the center, nowhere to go for him, so it's possibly the kicking team coming out, and it is.
Oh, we see
Max
Sills.
Kidd.
Sills is limping off the field right now. I don't know if we're going to start seeing Miller come back in. It's hard to say. Sills is going to want to finish this 4th quarter out as he throws his hands up to his coach, but he's limping as he walked off the field right now.
So what should be a pretty standard field goal here. Just 38 yards. So, I mean, this is why you're a kicker. You should be able to make this kind of kick. Kidd with
about a 40-yard kick.
It's about a 40-yard kick here for El
If we
Camino.
can get this Raiders crowd to give us a little 12th man action, maybe we can get a little too loud.
But looks
I don't think
like
we'll see anyone.
El Camino just called a timeout.
Icing their own kicker. What a great plan.
We saw that happen with Carolina and Denver
Oh,
on Sunday.
yes. Oh, yes.
I mean, it was sad.
It was a very sad game.
The fact is, to be honest, though, that's exactly what I wanted to watch, though.
Yes, absolutely.
That was a good football game and it came down to one play at the very end, and that's exactly what we like to watch.
I was going to say that's what
game.
you hope for every football game, is it coming down to that last play. We'd only be so fortunate to have that happen to us tonight, as we still have a tight game, 23-28. Warriors leading the Raiders with 11 minutes to go in the 4th quarter.
Like you said, possibly icing their own kicker. 11 minutes and 1 second left on the clock. Hopefully some 12-man action from the Raiders fan group. It's all up for El Camino to try
What's
and
the kick got
get this game a little bit farther away for the Raiders. The kick is going to be up.
And the kick
and
is
it's
good.
going to be good. So El Camino capitalizes on the play. It's going to be 31-23. The Raiders now need 2 scores in order to get back into this
as
game.
I said, this is the only thing they can afford. If they put a touchdown in and go for 2, it puts a tie for this game and possibly overtime.
We have seen lots of overtime, especially last year. If some of the people watching here were here for last year's game, I remember Cerritos almost like water. That game went to double overtime and ended up the Raiders winning. But the Raiders are not afraid to do it. They did it a few times last year, and they're going to possibly do it again this year. And tonight, that's also a possibility.
Yes.
So we'll see.
Isaiah Johnson now taking punt returns. I'm telling you, our feature back now working his way back into the lineup. We expect to see him a lot more next game now that we're seeing him a lot more in the second half. Along with Isaiah Johnson back there is DJ Farmer. Let's just say, don't get DJ the ball again unless you want to let us have a touchdown.
The ball's going to be going to Farmer. Johnson going to be one of the lead blockers. Farmer drops it but picks it up around the 5. He's going to try and find a hole, and he's going to be pushing his way up and brought down around the 20-yard line. And there's going to be flags all over the field. It was number 28 from the Raiders.
Coming up to about
Christian Rivers, who is in an altercation with Cerritos. I didn't see the number of player.
Christian Rivers, been a real active player tonight. Not getting a lot of credit and airtime, but I've been keeping my eye on him, and he's definitely finding himself in a lot of the right places at the right time. Was part of that pickoff play and also part of a couple third down stops. Christian Rivera is someone we got to keep our eye on for a defensive back in the future.
I don't think the referees know exactly what's going on here with the penalty. Now they're back to it. It's going to be a 10-yard penalty for continuing the block after the play was called dead.
The Raiders now working deep into their own zone.
It's going to be now 1st and 10 from the 10-yard line. The Raiders have a lot of play, a lot of room to try and drive up the field.
Yeah, they got about 90 yards and 8 points to make up to stay in this game.
Still, luckily for them, they have 10 minutes and 55 seconds left to play on the clock. Warriors 31, Raiders 23. Cato trying to find some room. He's going to find a hole in the center, nowhere to go, but he's brought down. He falls down with a gain of 4 yards. It's going to be 2nd and 6 now. 10 minutes and 45 seconds. The clock is still running.
The pocket collapsed on him a little bit right there. I saw him make only his first read, and before he could get to his second read, had to tuck the ball and take off just to get a little gain out of the play.
They're going to be playing out of pistol. Isaiah Johnson behind him, all eligible receivers to the left. Cato delayed snap count, trying to catch El Camino off guard. See if they'll jump off sides. That's always an option.
Yep, make this a nice 2nd and 1.
10 minutes and 16 seconds left on the clock. It's going to be a high snap. Cato chooses to keep it. He's going to be running. He's finding a lane onto the inside. He's going to run out to the 25-yard line. What a good play to scramble there.
First down, Cato. Very nice. He broke a tackle. He saw them coming in on him on that one. Broke a tackle and just got out of that pocket and make it a little positive play.
10 minutes and 7 seconds. He ran out of bounds. The clock was stopped. You got to think time has to be on the Raiders' sides here if they're able to drive down the field.
Absolutely.
Cato out of pistol.
Again, all eligible receivers to his left.
Raiders really liking those trips formations.
Absolutely.
Mixing it up, passing and throwing. Takes a snap back. Hands it off to Johnson. Johnson trying to run up the right side. He breaks a tackle. He breaks 2 tackles.
Johnson
he spins, runs out of the way. He
four.
breaks a 4th tackle. He's running out to the 40. He's at midfield. He's running out to the 40. He's finally out of bounds around the 48-yard line. They're in El Camino territory.
A penalty on that one. Johnson was hit after he made it out of bounds. We're going to see another 15 yards added to the end of this play.
This is slightly getting out of control for El Camino. It's interesting to see.
What an amazing run by Isaiah Johnson on that one. They could not bring that man down today.
Last year, untouchable. They had 2 runners last year on the roster. I forget. It's been killing me because I forget his name. We had 2 featured backs as running back last year. And both, I would equate it to, because I'm a Kansas City fan.
Yeah.
You have Sharchandrick West and Spencer Ware. Spencer Ware likes to drive with his nose down, kind of like how Isaiah Johnson would run. And then our other running back was just like Sharchandrick West, where he would have the speed and run with finesse.
Very finesse.
Let's just talk about how Isaiah Johnson was just devastating on that play.
He actually carried a lot of finesse on that play as well, even though it was a very violent run from him. Everyone who tried to touch him probably got hurt. Yeah. But he made his way up the field out there. I think 4 defenders at least got a touch on him.
And the Raiders make another mistake with a false start.
This time making it onto the inside of the 40-yard line, looking at a touchdown. If they do get into this red zone, you can expect them to go for 2 as they have to.
It's going to be a 5-yard penalty against the Raiders. They're going to be on their El Camino's 38-yard line.
Again, the narrative of this night is penalties, penalties, penalties on both sides of the field. For El Camino and Moorpark.
If you can count back all the penalties that we've gotten this year, it would be interesting
touchdowns.
to see what the difference would be in the game. The Raiders with all the receivers on the left, and they're going to have Ray Thomas out behind Cato. It's going to be a high snap. Ray Thomas out to the right-hand side. He's going to try and find a hole, and he's going to run, and he's going to be brought down at the 30-yard line with what looks to be a gain of about 7 yards.
Ray Thomas right here out of Camarillo, another Adolfo Camarillo High School boy.
So 2nd down, and what looks to be 7 yards.
Isaiah Johnson makes his way back onto the field. We'll see if he can score.
Isaiah Johnson with a huge power run. They have a lot of guys in the box here for El Camino and a lot of defensive backs on spy. Definitely pending the run. This might be a good chance for the Raiders to throw the ball here if they can get one of the receivers on the left-hand side to possibly beat. And it's going to be Manuel Asachuku over the center, and he's going to be in there.
Oh, wow. Quick pass. Cato picked that up and threw it right over. No defenders on him.
You saw they're bringing the pressure on the inside, and what do you do when you have pressure on the inside?
Get rid of that ball.
Exactly.
Get rid of that ball. And kudos again to Cato.
Emmanuel with a great reception there, and Cato with a great throw puts it in the hands of his most trustworthy receiver there. The Raiders now deep into El Camino territory in the red zone. They're at the 18-yard line.
Raiders now in the red zone looking to make a play. 7:45 on the clock.
Cato out of shotgun, has Johnson beside him. Takes a snap back. There's going to be no run. Johnson lays out a block, but Cato's going to be hit in the backfield for a loss of 2 yards. They get slowed down a little bit. You got to think this is a touchdown-only scenario for the Raiders as the clock starts to wind
nothing
down.
but a touchdown. If not, and they hit a field goal and they walk away with only 3 points or 0 points, you're going to have to look at this as a disappointing drive, even though they got all the way down the field. Really got down the field in a quick manner. Only 3 minutes to get down the field as well.
An impressive drive here for the Raiders. They're going to be playing with 4 receivers now out on the field, bringing players out of the box. You have to assume that El Camino has to be watching that throw threat now from Emmanuel Asachuku on the right-hand side, but it's going to be a quarterback keeper from Cato. He's going to be brought down on the inside with a gain of what looks to be 4
about to
yards.
the 15-yard line. We're about 15 yards from a Raiders touchdown and possibly a chance to tie this game.
6 minutes and 38 seconds after the run. The clock continues to wind down. 25 seconds on the play clock. This is absolutely necessary. You see the tight end running onto the field. That's Christian Hill-Sanders. He had a couple long receptions. He's going to be playing out to the left-hand side. You'll see. We'll see if he goes out for the reception. He's going to be playing against the line, or if he'll be in on run block. A lot of players in the box here for El Camino.
We got 5 in the box. 6, 7, 8.
Snap back. Cato fakes the throw. Hits Emmanuel, and he comes down with it. It's a first down for the Raiders at the 3-yard line.
I had to throw a little clap in there. Emmanuel's starting to, put this team on his back. He's catching a lot of balls that he's getting hit right after.
I think that's the ultimate narrative of the game, though, is, as you saw in Pierce, the Raiders weren't throwing the ball all too much. They were running it mainly. Now, as they're developing as a throwing team, they have more threats, and El Camino is now just guessing at what they're going to be able to defend
Emmanuel a little
against.
winded after that one. Kind of kneeled down, but picked himself back up to finish this drive off strong.
Still a lot of players in the box. It's going to be one-on-one on the left-hand side for Cato. Still out of pistol. And it's going to be a quarterback keeper. Cato chooses to run in. He is brought down
the 5.
Just inside the 5. It's not going to be a loss. It's not going to be a gain. El Camino saw that one coming.
2nd and 5 with a little bit over 5 to go in this game. Raiders starting to make a stamp like they're going to score right now. See if we can get it in, and then hopefully they got to play up their sleeves to get 2 in to tie this game.
Time is winding down. El Camino has to be thinking they have to make a stop here. They're still going to go with almost the one-on-one coverage. There's so many players in the box here. It's looking like it's going to be a blitz. El Camino really, really not wanting to concede a touchdown on the run here. Cato, quarterback keeper, drives to the center. He's going to be in there. It's a touchdown. Moorpark. They're now within 2 points.
Cato really putting his team on his back as we're getting in this last 4th quarter. Gets up, very composed, walking back toward the sideline. He was waiting right there for play call. As like I said, they're going to go for 2 on this one. They don't have a choice.
The Raiders need to tie the game up. The defense is now well rested. We'll see when the ball gets turned over what the play is going to end up looking like.
Let's see what Coach Mike Stewart has under his sleeve for this one.
That's right. We haven't even mentioned any of the coaches here.
No, absolutely.
Very instrumental into building this team from what it was last year. Started off pretty much 4-1. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. And they're going to call timeout. good because the play clock was running down. And we're going to go ahead and step away for advertising here. Once again, I'm Emery Johnson alongside Nathan Espinoza. We got 4 minutes and 42 seconds left on the clock. The Raiders within 2 points. It's going to be Raiders 30, Warriors 31. Excuse me, Raiders 29, Warriors 31.
A firefighter's duty. Fighting fires, rescuing citizens, performing copious kettlebell exercises demands a daring degree of readiness. A degree of readiness achieved eating fulfillingly flavorful Firehouse subs. With premium carved meats and cheeses steamed to tasty magnificence, then piled onto toasted rolls. Is your footwear connected to your pants? No, it's not. Because you're not a firefighter. But you can be ready like one. Firehouse Subs, the hero of all subs.
This game is brought to you in part by W.J. Saunders Agency of Simi Valley. Proud to be an agent of Nationwide. Nationwide is on your side.
And we're back here after the timeout, ladies and gentlemen. It's not fourth down. It's
Fourth
extra
quarter.
point time. It's the fourth quarter, 4 minutes and 42 seconds left on the clock. The Raiders going to go.
After scratching to get back in this game, they're only down 29-31 to this El Camino.
Raiders. Cato looking for a pass. Finds his receiver on the outside, but it's an incomplete pass. The Raiders are down 2 points. Not much time to make up here. The Raiders have 0 timeouts available.
A little over 4.5 minutes to go in this fourth quarter. The defense is going to have to make a stop here if these Raiders want a chance to put a field goal in for the win.
So it's going to come down to 1 point at this point.
Absolutely.
Raiders defense going to have to come up huge in this case. But this is what football is all about. It's about buckling up at the very last moment and coming up clutch in these situations.
Absolutely. And they had no choice on that one. Whether they would have kicked the field goal or tied that, they were still going to need another score to win this game.
So it's still number 6 out to take the kick, Janelle Jackson. Gavin Todd hasn't been doing too much so far this half.
A lot of fourth downs have been taken, so unfortunately Gavin hasn't got a big chance to be out there making a big effort, but he was the first to put points on the board for the Raiders.
Gavin.
Might be the last.
Kick the ball here. It's going to be up, and it's going to be taken by the other man out there. He's going to be up through the 20-yard line, and he's going to be down to the 25. El Camino gets okay field position.
Jaquan Waters, running back from Manassas, Virginia.
So here's the Raiders defense. You got your big guys up front. Jordan Flack, James Perryman, number 79. It's going to be Nate Lemos.
We should see a big stop from these boys right now.
They're going to be playing out a split back. Lots of receivers out for El Camino. It's going to be number 6 taking the run. He's going to be up into, well, it looks to be the 27-yard line for a gain of 2 or 3. Janelle Jackson. We'll see how this drive turns out. They end up giving him 4 on the play. It's 2nd and now 6 from their own 29-yard line. Sills still out on the field. They got number 22, Donovan Davis, as his feature back. Takes a snap back. A little bit of a miscue. Sills is just going to be fighting for yards here. Looking for the first down. We'll see where his knee was touched down around the 34-yard line. It's going to be 3rd and really short here. 3 minutes and 36 seconds left on the clock. El Camino taking their sweet time here. Their only option is to run down the clock if the Raiders keep playing defense like this. And it's going to be Davis in again at back. He's always ran for more than 2 yards. So in this case, or at least in the coach's eyes, this is the only run that's going to work here.
They're going to have to make a big stop here, 3rd and 1.
A lot of guys in, and it's going to be a quarterback keeper, but he's going to be hit
brought down.
Oh.
It's a loss of yards against El Camino.
Big play.
Huge play. You got to give the credit. And I saw him coming around the inside. He just flipped over the offensive lineman's arm. Obviously, they're getting tired on the inside. It was James Perryman on the tackle.
James Perryman, a big point on this game today. Already I keep reiterating as a touchdown. It's been all over the field, a couple sacks, like another one for behind the line.
2 minutes and 54 seconds. El Camino is going to take the timeout. It was for the Raiders. They had 0 timeouts, or at least the board is incorrect. Excuse me for miscommunication on that. 2 minutes and 54 seconds left on the clock, though. It's going to be the punting team out on the field.
Our sponsors nationwide is on your side, and Papa John's Pizza, better ingredients, better pizza.
So the punting team is out on the field. El Camino is in a must-stop situation against the Raiders.
Absolutely, absolutely. They're almost in field goal range if they can keep this ball up right here. Hey, you know what? We could even stop the punt right here. If you block this punt.
It's going to be nobody else except Ray Thomas out to take the punt at the 35. Max Kidd to make the punt. He's done all the kicking here for El Camino tonight. It's going to be a low snap, but a good one. Ball's going to be up, and no one's going to touch it. It's going to be out and touched by an El Camino player around the 29-yard line. The Raiders, 2 minutes and 47 seconds. A lot of field to make up here. It's the fourth quarter. It's 1st and 10 on the Raiders' own 29. It's 2 minutes and 47 seconds left, and the Raiders are down by 2. This is why we love football, is it not?
You couldn't write a script like this. This is the perfect scenario for these boys to make it back and win this game. It's always a great thing when you don't lead the whole game and you win the game still.
The game is not won yet, but Cato eyeing the end zone on this drive. I don't think he's thinking of doing anything else. They have their tight end on the field, 3 receivers to his left, and it's River Mesa in a feature back. Cato out of shotgun. They have still a lot of players in the tackle box here for El Camino, still impending the run. Cato fires over the center, tries to hit Emmanuel. And there's the flag for the late hit on Emmanuel Osachukwu, and the defenders are absolutely livid on that play.
Michael Simmons on the late hit. Yeah, Michael Simmons was on a late hit on that one as he throws his hands around. I wouldn't be surprised if they gave him another penalty for flailing his arms around and throwing such a fit on the field.
That was quite a poor play by him.
He is flipping his arms around.
He is very mad, but he should not be mad. He knows exactly what he did
Absolutely,
on that
he did.
Penalty against the Warriors.
And this is going to send the ball up 15 yards. It's a surprise they didn't give him a penalty on the previous, on the extra anger that he was showing in the play.
Exactly. I expected something. That was very similar to the play we lost earlier when we had Sanders spike the ball after a good catch. I would say that's very similar to what he just did for the Warriors.
Cato out of pistol, has Isaiah Johnson. He throws it to Johnson. Johnson's going to be hit in the backfield, but he breaks a tackle. He's going to be trying to find space, and he's going to still be up, and he's going to be brought down with a loss of what looks to be 8 yards.
He definitely saved that. Could have been a lot bigger of a loss. He fought for extra yardage at the end. You can tell it's hard for that Warriors defense to bring him down. Expect to see a lot more play from Isaiah Johnson these last 2 minutes as we move into a 2-minute drill.
2 minutes and 18 seconds left on the play. The clock's still running. Cato has his back beside him, 24 seconds on the play clock. 3 receivers to the left, nobody on the right-hand side of the field. And it's a low snap. Cato takes the ball. He's going to choose to run it. He's going to be running up the right-hand side. He's going to try and find some space, and he's going to be brought down and out of bounds.
Just a couple-yard gain on that one. Still looking at a long third down.
You have to be thinking they're only going to go for it on 4th down here. There's no way.
Absolutely. There's no chance that they kick it away on 4th down right now. Hopefully we can see an error in it out. Most likely to Emmanuel Osachukwu.
It's going to be 3rd and 12 now. Now they're running the ball backwards. So it's going to be a 2nd down and really long. I didn't see the penalty on the play, but I can only imagine that it was a holding call for the ball to be sent back that far. 2 minutes on the clock. Cato takes a snap back, has a lot of room on the field. He gets the ball off just before getting tackled. It's a long pass, and it's just out of the hands of DJ Farmer.
DJ Farmer almost had a chance to put us into the red zone.
It's going to be 3rd down and 27.
We're looking at a long 3rd down, almost 3rd and 30, 3rd and 27 coming up.
Third down.
1 minute and 45 seconds left on the clock. Incomplete passes. Cato doing all he can to keep his team in the position of possibly scoring. Takes a snap back. Fires across the center. And it's Farmer once again, but there's a late hit on the quarterback and it's a personal foul. It should be a 1st down. El Camino, that should have been his 2nd personal foul. He should be ejected from the game.
There we go, there we go. We see the penalty now.
Automatic 1st down.
Late penalty on that one as Cato fought to get himself up.
The clock should not be running right now.
We'll have this the clock corrected right now. You should expect to see a 1st down out of that one. You hate to see a 1st down out of a penalty, but at this point you take a 1st down any way you can with only a minute and 23 to go.
I don't hate to see it. I'm going to be completely honest with you.
Hey, I'm there with you.
I mean, I know the entire art of broadcasting is supposed to be as unbiased as possible, but this is junior college. We're from Moorpark. We don't like El Camino.
And we want the Raiders to win.
And we want the Raiders to win. 1 minute and 23 seconds apparently on the clock, but that shouldn't be right. It should be at least 1:30.
A minute 43, the clock has been corrected to.
Minute 43 what we have now.
Added 20 seconds to that play clock.
And it's Isaiah Johnson back in the field. El Camino immediately bringing guys back into the inside.
Loading this box up again as it seemed to work earlier in the game for them.
They're going to have their backs stacked behind each other, receivers stacked up. It's a passing play. Cato steps in. He's going to have space on the inside. He's going to be hit and brought down.
Sadly, the ref got in the way on that one. I can see Cato having to dodge the referee as well.
Should have been what looked like a gain of 6, but they're going to spot it at the 49. They're going to have to spike the ball.
Hurry up offense right here.
1 minute and 21 seconds left on the clock. It's going to be River Mesa to his left. Takes a snap back. Time in the pocket, fires. Hit Emmanuel Osachukwu, but there's going to be a holding call. That's not what the Raiders need here.
Just a little bit over a minute left in this 4th quarter as the Raiders trail 29-31.
It feels like this possession has gone on forever.
This has been a very long possession, even though it's a short amount of time. A lot of penalties, a lot of timeouts, a lot of stopping of the game so far.
And they're going to spot it on the 39-yard line.
As they move this ball back after the holding call to the 39-yard line, loss of 10 on the play.
The Raiders just going back and forth.
Going back and forth on penalty calls, you know, I mean.
You can only
add 15, subtract 10.
You can only love the fact that they're still wanting to do this.
Absolutely.
There's no doubt in their minds. 5 seconds on the play clock. Will they get it off in time? Cato takes a snap back, rolling out to the right side. Looking for space, has time in the pocket. Fires, throws.
The ball was tipped when he was getting rid of the ball, kind of flailed off to the side. Osachukwu was waiting for the ball deep downfield, but wasn't able to get in striking distance or catching area.
1 minute and 5 seconds. It's going to be 3rd down and what looks to be 16 now. Cato has to do this for his team.
You're going to have to see an accurate throw here to get down the field. Be surprised to see a run play at this point.
Takes a snap back. Cato fires across the center. Hits his receiver. It's a 1st down. It's a 1st down.
Ryan Wilmore with the catch.
And the clock is stopped until the ball is going to be set down. The Raiders have to hurry up and probably spike it. We'll see what happens here because those are the rules in college.
Absolutely.
The chains are still moving.
Wilmore with an amazing catch downfield. Had a defender hanging on him as he comes down with the catch. Again, Cato Brown with an amazing throw down the field.
And it's River Mesa next to Cato. He has 3 receivers to his right, 1 to his left. Takes a snap back, it's still a throwing play. It's going to be to Mesa. Mesa trying to find space, but he's going to be bottled up and tackled by 3 or 4 guys. 40 seconds left on the clock. The Raiders got to get the ball out and spike it. This is going to be one of their last chances to get the ball. Ready up offense. Nobody can stop. 33 seconds left on the clock. 33, 29. Cato. One last chance to get the ball across.
In
they
the
hit their
red
guy,
zone.
but they're in the red zone. It's a first down. 22 seconds left on the clock. We're going to see what they're going to do here.
The clock
They're going to spike the ball. It will give them a chance to think about it. Ball spiked.
A little bit more time came off that clock than should have.
It's going to be roughly 22 seconds. If Gavin ends up having to make this tackle, or this kick, this will be the biggest kick of his life so far.
We saw Gavin warming up on the sidelines a moment ago.
They're not out on the field. Hopefully the Raiders don't run the timeout. This is do or die now for the Raiders. It has to be to the corner.
1st and 10, 21 seconds to go. The Raiders are on the 20-yard line looking at the end zone.
2nd and 10. The board's wrong again. They did spike the ball. Cato takes a snap back, looking to fire. Throws. Incomplete pass.
The game clock is stopped at 18 seconds on the dot.
18 seconds.
We're looking at 3rd and 10 now. 3rd and 10. One more play before we give the ball to the great Gavin Todd to save the day.
This almost puts you in a bad predicament. You can't turn the ball over. You can't make a reception that's not out of bounds or a first down. It has to be perfect. Can the Raiders do it? You have to be thinking, Emmanuel Osachukwu is looking nice on the right-hand side.
At the top of the screen.
Takes a snap back.
One defender on him.
It's intercepted.
Cato Brown throws an interception in the end zone. We're going to have to call that a game, sadly.
And that's it, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm going to have to say that's it. There's only 17 and a half seconds left in this game. Raiders trail 29-31 as the ball was intercepted in the El Camino end zone. The defense still has a chance to do something. Doubtful that they're even going to run a play besides Neal.
There's no other play that they need to run. This is the game over. Moorpark has 0 timeouts left.
0 timeouts left. Expect El Camino to take a knee at this one. Serve Moorpark their first loss of the season. El Camino will stay undefeated at 2-0, defeating Moorpark at home in our first home game.
You know, it's really sad to see all that effort put into this kind of play.
Yes, hopefully they can grow from that and make a difference in next week's game. As
the Raiders did a lot of things right.
Raiders definitely did a lot of things right in the second half, just not enough as they definitely made a comeback.
That's their game, ladies and gentlemen. They take the kneel. We'll see you in the post-game show. Once again, I'm Emery Johnson alongside.
I'm Nathan Espinosa.
Nathan Espinosa. We'll see Ryan up here in the booth for our post-game show. We'll see you for the 5th quarter Raider locker room report, brought to you in part by the California National Guard.
An abridged hierarchy of man's needs: clothing, shelter, duct tape, and beef. But not just any beef. Beef that meets Firehouse Subs' stubborn standards for unfettered flavor. Smoked in a smokehouse for no fewer than 16 hours. Then married to cheddar and steamed to unparalleled palatability. It's a man's needs reinterpreted by a man's man. A fireman. Recharged and ready to roll. Firehouse Subs, the hero of all subs.
This game is brought to you in part by the California National Guard. What it takes: mind, body, and grit. Los Robles Hospital and Medical Center, well within reach. Wells Fargo, together we'll go far. Peach Hill Soils, we're dedicated to mastering the art of landscaping. This game is brought to you in part by UCLA Health. It begins with you.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the fifth quarter Raiders locker room report. What an incredible finish to a very exciting game. Obviously didn't swing in the momentum of the Raiders, but nonetheless very exciting for us to watch. I'm alongside Nathan Espinoza and Ryan Ketchum once again. So, Ryan, we didn't get to hear from you much. What's your take? What's your take on the on that last quarter? How did you think the Raiders really did?
Well, during the last quarter, of course, that's when El Camino got a field goal and also Moorpark scored again. They actually scored twice. So they had a little bit of momentum coming in. And, of course, also during halftime, they had the momentum coming in to the second half. Everybody was riled around them. The crowd was going crazy. The players were all jumping up and down. They were excited. They were marching down the field. And then it just came down to one throw that just didn't hit the target.
Yeah, I really think that Cato made a great attempt to get his team down there. I don't know, I don't want to say that it was a fault of the coaching staff, but possibly, don't throw the ball there. Take the points. I mean, honestly, the defense has been playing so well that I would trust the special teams enough to be able to kick the ball if we make that kick. I have faith. I don't know if they don't have faith in Gavin, but that's the ultimate storyline to me. Is I felt like they ultimately didn't trust Gavin to make that kick. We'll see, eventually how that ends up. I'm going to hand the microphone over, or you can hand the microphone over to Nathan. You were sitting next to me the whole time, and we were talking about during the stream at the fact that the Raiders just kept persevering on. And despite tonight's result, you have to understand that it's it's all about next week. Yeah, we're 1-1, but we just played one of the best teams in our division. We're about to play the best team possibly in California.
Long Beach, yes.
Yeah.
So yes, there's a lot of positive we can find out of from today. Tight game, 29-31, barely squeaked out a win, or they barely squeaked out a win rather. It's a lot of positive though, like I said, we can see coming for next week. Long Beach better watch out. One thing that this Raiders team has is resilience. They were resilient, and as you said too, Ryan, the coaches were there to let them know, hey, we still have football to play. Don't worry about it. We have time on the clock. And you can see the players listen to them. They showed up, and they fought for every second they had in that game. So you can definitely see some positives for next week. This week, every week you grow. And so, I'm hoping that this Raiders team can take this loss in stride and keep on pushing throughout the season.
Yeah, you bring up a great point. I remember you, Ryan, saying during the broadcast that, it didn't matter what numbers were on the scoreboard. We're still playing to win, no matter what down, what quarter, how much time is left on the clock. You play to win, and I think the Raiders really do have a chance to give Long Beach a run for their money. El Camino is not a bad football team, and being that Long Beach is one of the best in California, if not the United States. And we saw last year the Raiders didn't do too well, but that was when we were dealing with issues of not knowing who our quarterbacks, not knowing who our receivers are. and it really it's really going to be interesting to see. And I'm glad you brought up that point during broadcast. So thank you, Ryan. We're going to go ahead and wrap that up now, ladies and gentlemen. This is the fifth quarter Raider Locker Room Report, brought to you in part by the California National Guard and our main game sponsor, the UCLA Health. We bid you good night, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, I'm Emery Johnson alongside Nathan Espinoza and Ryan Ketchum. We bid you good night.